The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
I call bullshit. Oh my God, who the... hell cares?
Cash Money can put this change in my piggy bank any day.
Respect my authority!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to this edition of Pacific 404 Pop Talk. Along with Bear Norman Tag, Cash Money 007, I am your host, Mike, and today we have a special guest who should be joining us, and that special guest is Spock's Friday Nights. And the agenda for today's show is to, of course, talk about his YouTube channel, how it got started, and how it's going for him and where he sees it in 6 months to a year from now, but also his work on his own music, along with helping others produce their own music. And he is also currently in the middle of writing episode 2 of his episodic series for Star Trek Online. So we will ask him about that. And I have asked him if we could showcase some of his music that he's written, and he is very happy to show that. And hold on one second, guys. Why don't you take it away? Because I'm getting the message from Spock.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So here we go. I mean, I don't think he's coming. I think he's going to find out that on Friday, Cash really torqued him off when they were playing Alien. So how many times did you shoot him? How many times? I think that's
none.
the problem. You know,
none.
none. I mean, concerning the times you killed me and the Helldivers too. Okay.
I
think that
never.
might be a problem. No, come on. I said you've been killed by Cash Monet. It's like, oh, okay. You've been killed by Cash Monet.
And I got killed by you too, buddy.
Well, retaliation's a bitch, isn't it, buddy?
Buddy. Buddy. Pauly Shore. Buddy. Oh, it's great. Oh, man. Fantastic.
But, I mean, I still love him when he was in Married with Children as the manager of the burger joint. The Star Trek.
Right. That's
one.
right. He did pop up in there.
Where's the whoosh, Bundy?
That's right. Yeah.
Whoosh.
He's made some movies, but like even Encino Man is decent. Like it's definitely watchable. Biodome, on the other hand,
well, you know, but he did take over for his mother with the comedy club out there. Because his mother was the owner, and she, you know, I think she's passed away now. And he took over, and that, you know, that's what got him his start was, you know, being in and around all these comics. Obviously, they seem to like him enough, and now he's that's why we don't really see much of him right now. He's trying to get the new stuff, get the new stuff going on. Don't you know? As we say up here in Minnesota. Yep.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, our special guest of this afternoon's show has arrived. Please welcome from the planet Vulcan, Spock.
Permission to come aboard, sir.
Granted, sir. Granted.
Welcome, Spock of Spock's Friday Nights. How you doing, brother?
How logical. What's the matter?
He's
You got wax in those pointy ears?
Hello. Sorry, guys. Had a weird internet issue. I had to get that solved.
No problem, dude.
Oh,
How's it
we're
going?
No
that.
worries.
Just
You're
ask
speaking
Mike.
to the choir when it comes to internet issues.
Yeah.
Well, Spectrum ain't that great over here, but
Oh,
gotta solve in like 2 minutes.
it's not great over where I'm at either. Spectrum.
Yeah, Spectrum
Oh man.
does have its problems here and there. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, I'm the
Oh,
only
I'm
one that's
happy
at
I came back
Xfinity.
and saw you
Yay!
guys talking about Biodome.
Yeah, buddy.
Buddy, I'm
Breathe a
not
little
I'm not a fan of that movie, but
It's all right. It's all right.
I
Yeah,
heard
that
you
movie,
binge
out of
watched
all of
it,
his others, is the most hectic.
So how
How's
you
it
doing
going,
today,
Baron?
Spock?
How's it going, Mike? How's it going, Cash?
Yo,
Thank you
Doing
again for having me.
fantastic. Doing
Not a
fantastic.
problem, brother.
Spock. Great to see you. What
Yeah,
you
man, it's
drinking
good.
there? Is it a Slurpee? Is it a Vulcan Slurpee?
It's a nice 7-Eleven Slurpee.
Oh,
Very logical choice.
I haven't had one of those in a long time. We don't have 7-Elevens here. We used to.
So
Spock,
Spock,
today,
this show is going to be all about you, man. Don't you feel special?
I thought it was gonna be about you.
It's not
no,
about
Spock.
me.
Today is
It's
all
about
about
you,
you.
buddy.
It's about your YouTube channel, your YouTube journey, where you
Mhm.
see it 6 months from now, where you see it a year from now. The music that you've been creating.
And I
Episode
want
2 of the Star Trek Online episodic series,
to.
and also your love of Star Trek, specifically Voyager, which was why I put Voyager in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And
Your
I
love of
try to keep in
Steelax.
mind of what my guests particularly like, or something that is common to them, and I try to put it into the thumbnails whenever I create them.
Also,
I want to apologize. I want to apologize for Cash because I know what you meant when you said special. You meant short shuttle special. I apologize.
Oh my gosh,
We'll talk
sure, I
later.
did. I'm also curious to what are some of your other favorite characters on Star Trek besides Spock?
Yeah, of course, right?
Mhm.
All right. Well, Mike, I have to say, even though you go out of your way to make sure that we're all comfortable, I think honestly, you already do that enough, and it's very nice of you to want to like theme the whole show for me. And this is like the first time something or someone has offered something like this, so I really appreciate it like a lot. And also, I'm also very unprepared for this, so I apologize in advance. But yeah, I mean, we can definitely start with Star Trek because that's my life. Started watching it maybe 15 years ago. I'm 23, about to turn 24. So I was really young when I started watching it. And my sister got me into the original series. She was really big into like TCM, all the classic kind of movies you can think of. And she was saying, you know what, we should watch the original 60s Star Trek. And I was like really turned off at that point because I was watching, Transformers, all these kind of other generic, movies that were not, as deep thought as the original series were. And I thought, the original series is going to be very boring. But that's where my love started. Started watching that. Saw Spock instantly, there was a connection there, no emotions. Oh, that's the guy I know. That's definitely. But yeah, he's definitely obviously Spock, yeah.
Why, you green-blooded, pointy-eared goblin.
You gotta be a Vulcan mind. Yeah, McCoy is there. The show would definitely not be the same. So that was definitely my second favorite character, not Kirk. Kirk is great. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I love the other characters more because they had a lot to show in terms of like their own character in a sort of way as well. I think a lot of people don't like the original series because of Kirk taking the camera. I get that conversation a lot. I know Cash knows what I'm talking about with a certain someone, but either case, it's just like it's not about Kirk. The whole show has a purpose of existing. There's that whole camaraderie around the entire crew, and they have like this family approach as well, which is why I think I was really drawn to Star Trek. It's got that family friendly approach that not a lot of others, a lot of other science fiction does.
That is true. And of
And I'm
course,
sure you guys
what's
know.
interesting though, it was supposed to be, well, of course, a Pike series, but a Kirk series, but quickly, so fast, you have, of course, Spock, and then boom, they bring in DeForest Kelly as McCoy, and you had that dynamic right there between the three of them. Boom, there it was. It was an organic growth of this family. It wasn't one of these, okay, we're going to plan everything from the beginning and boom. No, it was a natural one where they were able to ease into each one of the roles and their personalities. I think it was the best that they had of bringing this family together, because that's how real family is. Little Johnny doesn't pop out of mama and instantaneously, this is what little Johnny is. No, they have a journey.
Right.
And exactly. I mean, I think the transition from Pike to Kirk, honestly, like a lot of other shows nowadays, when they try to introduce new cast members or replace existing ones, they do a pretty sloppy job in terms of the main reason is they alienate you. They don't warm you up to it. They don't make you feel comfortable with it. But with Pike to Kirk, they at least bring in Pike later to explain what the hell happened to him. And it's very interesting to see the road he went down of that whole holographic, I forget the name of the episode, where they put him in that whole holographic simulation and he met that lady.
The Cage was the original pilot, and the
Cage.
Menagerie, which is in their way of saying Cage, was the two-parter, and the only one in the original series.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool that they at least show his character still. They didn't give up on Pike. They showed that he was willing to save that girl, really defy what those scientists dudes really want to do, which was basically test them like guinea pigs. I think, if anything, that's the best thing about Star Trek, is it dives into all these little tropes, right? And then it really answers them in a really interesting way. Like the main trope is, I think, about aliens and, going off a little bit about off Star Trek for a second, but aliens and UFOs and all these things that people are seeing in real life. I think this is an interesting topic where people say, oh, what if they abduct us and experiment on us and all these kind of things? And I'm like, well, you should watch Star Trek, because they do that a lot. And not only that, they do it in a very creative way, where it's not just like them abducting us and then beaming us down. They basically go into the whole trope of that these are other sentient life forms who are scientists, and they see us like bugs, and they just want to learn. It's just weird, very weird.
So Spock, when it came to your YouTube channel, what inspired you to create it in the first place?
That's a good question. I really just wanted to stream myself gaming. I know that sounds very basic, but at the beginning, that's what it was. I wanted to stream myself gaming because I had done that before on a really old YouTube channel. It's not a thing anymore. When I was maybe 15 or 16, I had a YouTube channel of me just streaming myself trolling people on Omegle.
Oh no, dude, not that thing.
I didn't like the idea of Omegle. I'm like, wow, you can just go online with your webcam and talk to random people. Awesome. So let me just do that. And I'm wearing a full-on Predator, from the 1980, I think 87 Predator movie. I was just wearing a full-on Yautja outfit, and I'm just like, hey, what's up? It was such a bad YouTube channel, man. But I started this one because I wanted to make it better than that. And I wanted to do something more original, which was having a Star Trek theme on all my games, because I love Star Trek so much. I want to bring that with me everywhere I go, if possible.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with that. Before we ask the next question, I do want to say hello to Jason Fox of 540 Studio. Good to see you, Jace.
Jeez. It's good to see you,
and
buddy.
Of course, today's special guest,
Who's that?
Spock of Spock's Friday Nights.
You're having another Spock?
There's only one Spock.
Mm.
JP.
JPR PH1, good to see you. And of course, co-host number 1, Cash of Phantom Hooligans. Co-host number 2, Baron Orin Tag. And of course,
Co-hosts.
Leia Rose. The
Hail
lovely
Leia.
Leia Rose, the
Yes.
princess of YouTube. And as far as the Three Stooges are concerned, because that's what I call us, the Three Stooges of Pop Talk, I forgot to do our customary greeting.
And of course, Leia Rose is the president and sole member of the Phil McCracken fan club.
So, looking through your YouTube channel, Spock, again, you have a variety of content here. You've created your own AI Ridley Scott style Star Trek. You've also gone over different Star Trek Online ships that are coming out
Yep.
and the different updates. You've also talked about your PS2 collection of what games you have, what games you like to play. You know, Orville. You're a fan of the Orville.
Yeah, that's one of
Really?
his most popular video is the Orville bloopers.
For some
actually.
reason, it's not even my video. I wish my actual videos got that many views.
Right?
And of course,
But
you know,
yeah,
you're talking about Battlefront 2 here. Your live streams, you know, you play a variety of games, not just Star Trek Online, but
Mhm.
you know, recently you've been playing Smash Brothers, you've been playing Left 4 Dead 2, and you've also played DC Universe and
Mhm. He did, yeah. He's also
Yeah,
played
he did.
Eliza P
Years,
too,
yeah.
but that's on his
Mhm.
you were only playing that on your Twitch, man. I don't know if you're gonna ever play it on YouTube.
Yeah, that game, I don't think I'm gonna continue. I probably am just gonna continue it on Twitch, if anything. But yeah, the Dark Souls types games, I'm really
Mhm.
bad at them.
It just takes a lot of practice, man, and patience.
True that.
Well, that's what Vulcans are supposed to have, right? Patience.
That's true.
Not half human ones. We have half patience. We'll wait for like 30 minutes and then we'll get a little bit angsty.
I thought half patience for the guys that came in that were
Well,
cut in
yeah.
half.
I mean that Elite Force was a lot of fun.
Oh
Yeah, it
man,
was.
yeah.
I had
Even though
fun.
that stream is old, we definitely got to do more of that. I'm
Oh
down.
man, that was Elite Force was a lot. That one dude came in there to stream snipe. I'm like, bro, you play
It's gonna
this like
happen
all
again.
the
I
time.
guarantee
I'm
you, it's
sure
gonna
it
happen
will.
again.
That guy's just
we
waiting.
play Elite
He's
Force
waiting.
just to piss people off. I mean, me and Cash just hop in there, and like not even 20 minutes pass, we already have a stream sniper just saying, "Oh, we're seeing your YouTube channel. You guys are stupid."
Yeah, but yeah, you're gonna run into people like that who will stream snipe, or they come by your stream. They don't like what your video is all about or your stream's all about, and like I said, we all encounter it. But how do you choose to deal with it? Do you just ignore them, or do you choose to
Oh,
converse with them to try to come to a middle ground, or do you tell them off?
oh, yeah. I usually don't tell people off on the internet. I mean, I do say my opinion, obviously, but having an argument is just like gonna escalate to something, obviously. But what I do, I like to take the Eric Andre approach. I just like to freak them out. If anything, I just will. If anybody stream snipes me or trolls me, I will just do like anything to troll them back in return. Like not even piss them off. Just like since that guy stream sniped us, for example, all I was using in Elite Force was like the most OP weapon. So every time I saw him, just destroy him. So the best thing you can do against people like that is make them wish they never did it in the first place. But yeah, that's the best way, honestly.
Very logical. Very logical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I can prove all.
the streams have been a lot of fun. I definitely do a lot more than those than the videos. The videos are, obviously you gotta put more time into those, editing them. You don't have to, you can make them like this and then put it up and have like a whole ton of videos. But I like to take my time with them. I like to make sure they kind of give that trailer kind of vibe. I know when I was making the what's it called, like the Inside the Bozeman, and I was talking about all the little news for Star Trek Online. I was trying to really make those like a news announcer kind of thing, like I'm discussing the newest thing that just dropped. But I realized I don't want to be that guy. Otherwise, I'll just go be a news announcer on CNN. So I decided not to do that. I think the best thing to do with my channel is to just be me and just game. You know, I think people like seeing games a lot, but they'd love seeing somebody make fun of the game.
Right, make fun of the game, or even having a discussion like we did on Friday, talking about aliens and talking about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Just love that.
And,
Oh
then-
man,
and
we
then
gotta
our
play that
aliens,
again. We gotta play that
our
again. That was
aliens
so much
fire
fun.
team
Yes.
conversation eventually went to talking about Spaceballs and quoting the movie.
Oh, that's definitely something we should talk about later too, you know, because I don't want to forget about whole aliens. Oh, xenomorphs, man, you know, I love those just as much as Star Trek. That was big life for me right there.
Awesome,
but
too.
yeah, I definitely, you know, we gotta get Baron next time. That guy, what the heck was he, man? That guy.
I'm sorry, I was got the feeling well that I was actually scared of the xenomorphs. I just, it's like
He did. He told us later.
Right.
He's like, no. He hid it in his closet. He's like, no. The
We carved
xenomorphs."
Baron in one of their heads just for you, man.
Yes.
I had trouble. I had nightmares that night, dreaming of xenomorphs and battling. I help me, Daddy. Help me, Mommy.
Well, I just, now they have to explain where the xenomorphs are coming from, and I know we talked about that on Friday, but
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
This stuff is just so weird to me. It's like, look, the mystery is fine. You don't have to spoon feed people all this stuff all the time. It's okay. You can have the mystery. We don't have to know where the xenomorphs come from. We don't have to know where the Force ever came from. I know they explain that now, but after Phantom Menace, it's okay. But I understand why people are like, "Oh, I missed the mystery. I want that mystery again."
Exactly, because the less you tell us, the more you actually tell us, and
That's right.
obviously, you know, how many
The more
times
people want
has
to know,
that
and
been
more
said?
theories come out of it. Yeah, it's great. Those things are great, man. Yeah.
I think it's mainly the sake of people being bored and they want to do something better, and that mentality is really what's ruining it right now. Is because I wish more people thought about the way of or not thought about, but had that philosophy that if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Like I feel like that is dying. That metaphor is literally dying. Nobody wants to keep what's broken, like, or not broken. They want to change everything, even Back to the Future. Like that's a shining example of perfect. And they want to make a fourth movie? Come on.
No, that's a trilogy that doesn't need a fourth edition.
No, it's just
it really doesn't.
Agreed.
It already did.
Movie in those,
Mike,
every movie in those are enjoyable. Yeah,
I'm talking about in theatrical releases.
The game was great. I actually liked the game.
It's just like, where would they go after the West? It's like they don't need to go anywhere. They've went into
they've been to the past twice. They've been to the future.
Yep.
I mean, they've missed their chance anyway.
Two different versions of 1985. Then they had a third version of 1985. You had the 1985 that you start off in the movie. Then you have the 1985 that's been changed as far as Marty's perspective is concerned after his week in 1955. And then you have the 1985 when Biff from 2015 went back to 1955 and gave the sports almanac to his younger self.
Right.
Yeah. And honestly, it's just that idea of them making a fourth one, it's too long now. I mean, they missed their chance to do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, that I know that sounds like really biased because who cares about it? The actors are just in their prime and young. I know it doesn't make a big difference, but it kind of does. I definitely hate to say it, but I don't think they can portray it the same way they did. I mean, it's not their fault. It's just that so much time has gone by since they played those roles. So
yeah,
it's I don't know. I if I see a fourth one, I'm just gonna think that since it's been so many years, it's gonna probably be about their kids. And here we go again, Bill and Ted 4. Oh God, do not want to see that again. Like, please. Like, I love the idea that they have the passion, but I don't care about the kids. I sadly don't.
Look, I'm sure people will disagree on me. I know people how they feel about Bogus Journey, but I just feel like something Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, it could have just had one movie and be done. I get it. The first one was successful, so let's do a sequel. But sometimes I feel like you don't need one. Just the first movie, done.
Yeah. I mean, I meant Bill and Ted 3 too, but yeah, exactly. The next ones after the first two, the first movie didn't have to exist. I agree.
No.
Bogus. No, it was just what the hell.
And I just felt that the girl that was playing Ted's daughter in Face the Music, I felt she was just trying to do an impression of Keanu Reeves as Ted. That's all.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know. That's what I mean. Like, if they do that with Back to the Future, you're just gonna get the daughter or son version of him, and he's gonna be acting the exact same way, just so they can make us not feel alienated. It's like, little do you know you're doing that.
Because who's it gonna be that acts more like Doc? Is it gonna be Jules or Vern?
Good point. Yeah, would they? The other thing is, will they understand? And this is obviously a big problem too. Do you get that this is the same kind of humor? Like, if you're going to do a sequel, you've got to have the same kind of humor. You've got to have the same situations. You've got to have the same kind of banter. And if you aren't going to do that, I just feel like then don't do the movie. If you're not going to put that time in, forget it. Don't come out and say, I'm going to do this better. That's a terrible idea because it may not end up being the way you want it to be. And then fans are going to get mad again. I'm not saying they need to threaten people or whatever. None of that is good, but I'm just make more of the fans happy.
I highly advise against threatening. Reason obviously being putting aside the most obvious reasons. If you do that, like the fans out here watching who are really passionate, I'm talking to you. If you do something like that, they're just more of a reason why they put you in a box and categorize you. Don't do that. Make yourself seem like you're an actual logical fan who has a genuine complaint. That's the best way you can do it.
I mean,
don't ever threaten.
Even the director who was like, I don't really care about Star Wars, but he did enough research where he's like, I'm going to have great space battles. And I have to say, Rogue One still has some of the best space battles in Star Wars I've ever seen.
Oh,
they're impressive. Yeah. They really are.
That's my
look. They're in space and they're fighting.
That's my favorite Disney thing that they've ever made. That's
Right.
the only thing I think that came out of Disney that was pretty good. I don't like anything else. I'm very, very hard on Star Wars right now.
It's very rough. Yeah, very rough,
same here. I mean, I'll say the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, and I haven't seen the Andor yet, so I haven't seen I can't see that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see the third.
I don't know if I want to watch this 3rd season of Mandalorian. I know it's easy to go back to this stuff. I liked Andor because character actually died, and I just like Cassian. But other people say, do you need to watch it? I'll go, you don't have to. You really don't. It's up to you.
Andor. I haven't seen it, but I didn't feel the urge to go and watch it, honestly.
I just feel like with Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, all this stuff, it's like, should I watch this? It's like, I mean, if you want to, X-Men, Marvel, whatever, DC. If you want to watch it, go for it. If somebody's going to tell you you're stupid for watching it, that's dumb too. So just if you really want to, go for it. I mean, Spock and I'm sure this is an unpopular opinion, but we're going to watch the Cape Crusader. So I think that's what's called.
Yeah.
We're gonna give it a chance. We both like Bruce Timm.
I'm already not liking the Harley thing, double looking.
No, I do not like it either, dude. No.
But maybe there'll be something out of this.
Maybe there'll be something.
Maybe they'll surprise us, and that Harley will actually be kind of funny. But we'll see.
The only thing is, they said this is an alternative canon.
Yeah,
alternate canons. Those are the exact words.
That's
so
fine.
let's
I just
see
feel like when they
that,
do that,
right? I know.
Change characters for no reason, just to make them different.
I know it would be easier to throw a shoe at Bruce Timm or something and say, "What have you done? You're ruining your own creation."
Shoot!
But again,
an object, man.
But again, if he's already coming out and saying this is an alternate canon,
he did.
It's not related to anything that we've seen before in the animated series. At
Right.
least he's doing something that a lot of other Hollywood creatives haven't done.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
look at Kurtzman with
Mm-hmm.
Discovery,
Mm-hmm.
saying it's part of the original canon when it was actually a part of the Kelvin timeline. Especially if you watch it in the first episode, you're going, "No, this is more Kelvin timeline Star Trek, not Gene Roddenberry, Rick Berman Star Trek."
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which
Right,
which
well, they
some,
said
some will some will argue that during the Rick Berman era, that's when things went askew in the timeline after
Oh,
Yeah.
First Contact.
yeah, I'm sure I can see why people feel that way. Sure. Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, they don't know like really where the ball is when it comes to making science fiction. Like it's all to them about
Mm-hmm.
making a badass movie that involves
Mm-hmm.
badassery on top of all
Mm-hmm.
that badassery. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I think people like Mando, because it's the only Star Wars show out of all the others that have a
It's
dude
good.
kicking ass.
Yeah, it's
You
good.
know,
It just follows
I'm
what
not saying
Star
that's the
Wars.
main reason, but
Right.
like it's not like there's not some annoying chick in that show constantly
Not at
mansplaining
all.
him or cutting him
Right.
off or doing
But,
all the work for him. It's an actual,
well,
like, it feels like a genuine show. Cara Dune comes in, she does her own badassery, everything feels equal, but it doesn't make it a good show. I just think it's a weird timeline they chose to film it. Like, why can't we have
yeah.
seen the Mandalorians while the Jedi were invading them? Like, that would have been a perfect segment.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah.
But the one thing about the Mando, I think what really caught on was you actually have this character acting more like Boba Fett than what they've turned Boba Fett into.
Yes, definitely. He was relentless. He was brutal. He's like, yes, and not just some robot like in Book of Boobaloo, but it was nice to see. And so like, and it had a more serious tone to it, and that was good to see. And that's what, unfortunately, I feel a lot of entertainment nowadays is missing, is that serious tone. Oh, this is not supposed to be funny. This is not, they're not messing around with this. But when it's like, look at he fell off the roof. It's so funny. Like that's ridiculous.
Just the way you said that. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was watching a GQ video on Kurt Russell a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I'm allowed to stream it or anything here, but it's definitely on topic of what we're discussing. And he's one of my favorite actors. He knows, if anybody, he would know this. He played a lot of iconic characters. But was that his intention from the beginning? No. And that was not even John Carpenter's intention from the beginning, making, Jack Burton or any of these other kind of Snake Plissken. Like, that was not their idea. They just wanted to make something weird, something new, fresh. If it would have flopped, it flopped. But, I think that definitely is a good example of big Escape from New York or Escape from Los Angeles. That movie didn't do too well, but
Right.
is another reason to say that he didn't care. He just made it because that's what John Carpenter wanted to do.
Right.
And, Kurt Russell says in the end of that video, it's like he declined the idea of working with Gears of War, I think it was Gears of War, because they want to have him voice one of the characters since he was inspired by Snake Plissken. But he said no, because John Carpenter wasn't there. It just didn't smell right. If they want to do something new, let's just go make a new iconic character. Let's go make something fresh
Right.
and brand new. That's exactly the attitude I wish that they had in Hollywood.
And not only that, he was hair's breadth away of becoming Han Solo, Kurt Russell. So he knows all this stuff. He very knowledgeable in by
He's worked
life
with the smartest
experience.
people. Yeah.
Exactly. And what, taking a couple steps back to what you were saying, or I don't know if it's you or Cash, but about an alternate universe with the DC, with this upcoming series by Bruce Timm. The big problem when you have these alternate universes in these comic book series, somehow the trendies get in there and make it that they become canon.
No, yeah, that's happened. Yes,
Right.
unfortunately.
Well,
yes.
yeah. I mean, the biggest one was the Dark Knight Returns. That was never supposed to be part of the continuity of the Batman universe. It was an alternate storyline. But over the time, what happened? It became part of the DC official universe. So, not that I'm saying it's bad. Not that I'm saying it's.
I mean,
Mhm.
Snake Plissken, for example, and then that character was based on what happened with Metal Gear. I mean, because Kojima was like, "Oh, look at this."
Metal Gear.
You
Sorry,
watch
that's what I
that?
meant. Not Gears of War.
Mhm. Yeah, Metal Gear. And I didn't know that for a number of years, and when I found that out, that's crazy. Yeah, it makes sense. It really does actually. I see the characteristics in both of them with Solid
Mhm.
Snake and Pliskin. Yeah.
In the names too. It's
And
just
the
like
name as well. Yeah. So yeah.
there's a lot of hints, but I didn't know either.
Obviously, Kojima was very inspired by that movie, Escape from New York. So.
I mean, a lot of John Carpenter's movies are stuff I live for because that's my example of like just being weird and doing something. Like we don't need it to make sense. It's just, can we make something memorable? Can it actually make sense also, but can it have just that level of fantasy? Like a lot of stuff now are losing that.
Yeah, they
That's why I
are.
love the Orville. The Orville
Yeah.
continued that idea of just like, this
Mhm.
isn't Star Trek, so put that aside. It's a whole new universe where you guys get to learn about new aliens, new conflicts, new interesting characters with their own weird problems. Like there's a lot there, and that's fantasy for me. Just to think about something that doesn't exist. There's not a lot of stuff right now that makes me think about it. And it's just sure I'm picky, but I feel like we're just not, getting
Well,
that level of entertainment anymore. I think it's mainly because we don't have cash over there. So
Well, Baron has some really good ideas too, and so does Mike. I mean, I'm just I
we don't have
like
Pop Talk over there, man.
yeah, we don't
That's
have
what's
Pop
going
Talk,
on.
right? Well, it's just
Pop Talk's a
you-
bad dude.
Hey,
it's
don't talk that way to Pop.
But yeah, they just more thinking outside of the box, not too much, but some. I mean, even stuff like Japanese have done, like you look at stuff like Persona, for example, there's so much going on, and not just the fact that you're going through a whole year in a uh, high school of Japan in that area is like there's so much more going on with the characters and the drama and the darkness in there and the fact that they're willing to kill off characters too, or that they're going through these horrible things, and this whole idea of changing someone's heart to trying to make them better, like just some really great ideas. And I know Hollywood, I want to believe that Hollywood's out there and they can come up with some more of this stuff, but they're so stuck in their ways all the time. And it just, I would love to see like classic movies again that you just like, wow, this is really good. I mean, even stuff like The Beekeeper, which is more recent, like it's good, but like, I don't know the last time I saw like a great pure action movie. Recently,
It wasn't
I
the
don't know.
Expendables 4, man. Come on.
I didn't watch that.
Mike did. He's still traumatized by it.
That's right. But like I would love to see just a great adrenaline thriller to come out. I think the
Yeah.
last time like that really was good, but even the boat the budget was bloated. They should have taken the boat away from that. No, but the budget was bloated, and it was still a really good film because people like Tom Cruise understands what Mission Impossible always should be. And that's what you need. And he is very appreciative of the fans. You went to go see Maverick, you went to go see this. Now, it didn't do that well, and hopefully the last part of the film will. But you've got to cut these budgets now because people are like, you're just not making your money back. Something like even Barbie was surprising, but I mean, it also has the marketing behind it. So I guess it's not that surprising that it made over $1 billion last year.
And the name brand.
And the name brand, exactly. Yeah.
I think that overall was what it was, is that name brand, Barbie.
Yeah. Let's say what we all want to say too. They're lazy. They're lazy.
Yes. They're very
They
lazy.
don't want to do it.
Yes.
They
They don't
want
want to.
CGI and AI
I mean,
to do it for them.
I don't like understand like if Spock and I have been talking about this, like if you take Alien Isolation, for example, and you start like adding that into the movies, I think a lot of people would be excited.
No,
Oh, we're going to continue with Ripley's daughter. This is amazing. Let's go. Let's do this. But nope. Would have been awesome.
I
totally
think
be on board with that.
I'm definitely not sure where I would continue the Alien story. I mean, personally, I'm happy where Amanda led
No
in
problem,
that game.
Clifton.
And
Always good to see you, bro.
what's up, Clip? Also, what's up, DJ? It's good to see you, brother.
Yep.
Nerd.
Nerd. But it's mainly about them being lazy, I have to say. I use AI. I use, CGI. I play with that stuff every day, but
You're
I
right.
don't let it do it for me. I like to have control. I like to have 90%, 95% control. Let that act as a source of like, for example, for music, you can use it as a song starter. For a picture, you can use it as a canvas. But I don't know. A lot of stuff now just feels so manufactured where it's not really meant to impress you anymore. It's just meant to tell the story, get it over with. All right, here you go. You got your hour's worth. Here you ate all your popcorn. Now go home. I don't really appreciate the feeling now that movies are trying to rush me instead of trying to test my knowledge. I love being able to test
even
it.
music is trying to rush people by creating all these artificial
Yeah,
beats
it's not
and artificial lyrics. You've
Yeah.
let us listen to your music, and your music isn't artificial. You
right.
put a lot of
Would you
heart
like
and
to hear
soul
some?
into
I'll
your
bring
music.
some up.
Yeah.
I'll-
Let's
ahead,
hear it.
Yeah,
Let's
go
hear
ahead
it.
and bring some
Remember,
up.
this show's all about you, Spock.
No, it's about you, Cash.
No, it's about you, buddy.
It's about you.
It's chin versus ear, folks. Chin versus ear.
It's usually
You can't
about
handle the truth.
Cash and Baron whenever they raise this flag. That's what it's about. Cash and Baron.
Arr.
Yes.
Did he do it?
I'm
He
not
did it, didn't
sure.
he? He did it, didn't he? Arr.
I apologize
Let
if
me see if I can
this,
find my
what's
my
this called?
avatar.
I apologize
Well,
if this
you should be-
echoes or anything.
There it is.
You should be playing the Vulcan harp, man.
There we go.
I was to say he doesn't.
Okay. So I would just load the projects, but we'll be here for a bit because I use a lot of instruments. So it takes like 5 to 6 minutes just to load each song. But thankfully, I've already rendered them, so you guys can hear it. I'll
Yeah,
play
we
a
don't want to
couple.
hear nonsense, YouTube. This is Spock's creation, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, there's not going to be any problems with copyright from this. I guarantee it.
don't you try to
stuff
mess
I
with us.
did that I let Mike use, we got claims on by somebody. It's like, no, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's my
lot of-
crap.
A lot of my music, I don't really use. I used to use samples, and even with samples, they say that they're royalty free. You don't have to worry. But a couple of songs that I've made with samples, I got copyright strike. So ever since then, like I think I forgot how long it was, but I've stopped using samples, and I've only relied on instruments. And there's already a crap ton FL Studio gives you. Unfortunately, it's not showing it. 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I apologize if
right.
you guys are gonna hear an echo.
No problem. But I just got to sit back and say, not only sing, but do naked fan dances too on top of it all.
We all need to do a watch party before I forget. Also, just on something like you guys are a good group. I've noticed to watch movies with and talk about them and critique. We need to probably go through. If anything, you guys are the group I'd probably watch New Trek with, if anything. But I don't know if I'm gonna go that far.
Well,
think
I
we
mean,
really just
Mike
need
and
to-
I,
Don't be mean.
Baron stopped. But Mike and I watched. Baron and I watched all of season 3 of Picard, and we've Baron. Well, Baron didn't watch all of it. Mike and I did.
No.
And we went. What? What the fuck is
What?
this?
What?
Yeah, the
What's
Picard
going on?
season 3. Picard season
Oh,
3.
Cue card, yeah.
Picard.
Is that what you were trying to think of?
But enough about Picard. Let's hear some of
Yes.
Spock's music.
Exactly.
All right, so I use a lot of these instruments. Now you can see them. So FL Studio already gives you a crap ton. There's no need to sample. I had Serum for a long time, which is what Skrillex uses, which is what a lot of big producers use to make basses and synths. This is what it sounds like right now.
Oh, cool.
So it acts as a giant keyboard, and you have
Nice.
your own piano roll right here. You know, we'll go through a little mini FL Studio tutorial. No, I'm just kidding. But
You bought this
this is-
program, right? Or
yeah, I bought this 10 years ago. I was just really sick of the free version because the
Yeah.
free version just has a demo thing that cuts out your audio every 2 minutes.
That
So I,
sucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
not really a fan of that. But yeah, here we go. So basically, this track and the ones I'm going to be showing you from now are the ones I made this month, and I'm really been watching a lot of 90s films recently. I watched obviously all of Pauly Shore's discography, and I was watching a lot of John Carpenter films. I started with Elvis because I had never seen Elvis, and I was curious to see what that was like, and it was a really good movie. And then after I watched the ones I was more familiar with from John Carpenter, which was Big Trouble in Little China,
Good
which
movie.
I absolutely love that movie. I'll die for that
yeah.
movie. That movie is just too good. Vibe, the cinematography, the story, you name it, like everything there is just there. And after I started watching Escape from New York, my same argument exists for that movie. Just perfect.
Quality
So
film.
these soundtracks are inspired by old school analog synth that we don't really use anymore. And I tried my best to make it. Obviously, I don't have a $15,000 setup where I can use all these actual instruments as much as I wish I could. But here is the artificial version of what I was able to make on FL. Try to give it like a Transformers feeling, like the new Transformers movies.
Especially the 2007 one, and
Yeah, this would work well with end credits as well, Spock.
Yeah, perfectly with end credits.
It definitely has a Carpenter feel to it.
this would definitely be the opening credits for a movie back in the late 80s, early 90s. And
I'm happy you guys see that. Yeah, that's something I definitely was hard for me to try and nail because, you know, we don't do that stuff anymore. We don't make we're not attempting to just think vintagely. We're not thinking about using these instruments anymore. So when you use these instruments, the first thing you hear is like, oh, this sounds like an 80s movie. That's mainly because a lot of stuff from circa 1970 to 1999, maybe even as the early 2000s, not very often though, they used a lot of Rolands. They used a lot of Prophet 5s. They used a lot of Lin 1 drum machines. They don't do that anymore because of these. These ones are pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I love them, but they don't have the same feeling. So I'm happy I was able to get close to what they sound like. But yeah, that one's called Under the Canopy. That one I just made last week. That's the newest one.
Let me ask you this question. If you could ever get the chance of playing this music on those actual instruments, would you do it?
Oh, is that yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would definitely agree to that. I mean, I've never had the pleasure of even being in front of one. I've seen them. I've always dreaded, like, oh, that looks too complicated. I'm never gonna want to learn those because I've been producing
Mhm.
for 12 years on FL Studio. I've used this thing for a long time since the version didn't even look like this. But when I saw Stranger Things, and that was my first personal introduction to learning about those instruments, I was
Mhm.
curious as to why is the intro so good? Like how
Mhm.
did they make this sound so damn good? And I looked into the composer who made the Stranger Things intro. Once
Yeah, I mean, this definitely has a that 80s feel, especially the what you would
huh.
call the B films, stuff like Transers,
Well,
and the
it's
like. And
cool
the reason why
because
is they didn't have the big budgets, so they relied on this. And what awesome music! I mean, same thing with John Carpenter, doing
right.
all his
Yeah.
music for all those movies, and they've become so iconic because of what he did as well. And we watched all these quote unquote B films on either cable or we rented the movies out. So these things just ingrained into our minds, either experiencing the as it was happening back in the day, or people discovering the stuff, going, "Wow, this is a neat sound. Why don't we hear that no more?" Even with
Thank
the
you.
vapor slash synth wave,
The exact thank you, bro. Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say in this Discord, is that we hear too much of that. And in my opinion,
Mhm.
it's generic. Obviously, generic is how do you want to say, is subjective.
Yeah.
There's no real true definition for generic, but I think that is. I hear it
Mhm.
often too much. There's thousands of different playlists on YouTube that have that style. It's becoming old. That could
Mhm.
happen with analog synth, sure, but I think analog synth is so experimental, you run into that issue less.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, even something like this program's very cool. Stuff like GarageBand, like there's so much you can do, especially if you've played any kind of instrument, and just things that you can make. And so, you're right, Spock. They need. It would be nice to hear more of this. Like nothing's wrong with this. Remember, if it ain't broke,
No.
don't fix it. But yeah, it'd be great to
Yeah.
hear this kind of music again in movies and stuff. There's still some really good people out there, Michael Giacchino, other people
Oh
that
yeah.
really are
John
just
Carpenter still
amazing.
makes music too.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's
They
awesome.
they they still make tracks. The best thing about John Carpenter, that I love him more than a lot of other analog synthesizer composers, is he actually uses live instruments. Like,
Right.
not a lot of his stuff is analog. There is analog in there, but he uses Fender guitars. He uses real drum sets. He uses acoustic pianos. Like, there's
Mhm.
really it goes on. Like, he loves real instruments, and that's why he's my favorite. It's because he kind of reminds me of the Beatles. And I know we were just talking about generic and overrated. I don't like that conversation when it comes to the Beatles. I think they're just good music, and it's
Mhm.
bad to label them as overrated. And that's
Well,
kind of how I see John Carpenter. He's just like good
you,
music.
you listen to the Beatles' early tracks, and then as they get later on in their career, where they were even experimenting with different sounds
Mhm.
for their songs, and you can hear it.
Yeah. Especially
They
in the
evolve.
70s, a lot of people say,
Mhm.
like, the Beatles are so versatile. They had different, like, every album was almost like they had a different style going on.
Mhm.
Especially I Am the Walrus, like, that's a
Mhm.
good example right
Cuckoo,
there.
cuckoo.
Cuckoo, Cuckoo.
Mhm.
Yellow Submarine.
Here's, another one. This one is obviously, you're gonna tell by the name, inspired by Snake Plissken. I called it Snake. Um, this one I made directly after rewatching Escape from New York, and I just had the image still in my head, and I needed to translate that. I wanted to continue, like, this was the theme I was using. Actually, no, wait, I shouldn't play it, but the main theme of Escape from New
Mhm.
York, that was my inspiration.
Okay.
Snaky boy.
Mm-hmm.
This is as soon as he lands in New York after the president's plane has crashed.
I thought this was like driving through Cash's neighborhood.
Sure. And Spock's neighborhood too.
You know, yeah, I mean, that definitely has that feel. And that was what's great about Carpenter when he was doing Escape from New York. It was this type of music. It wasn't necessarily that, bang over the top, action type one. It was helping in that mood that you're going into Manhattan. That's now a prison, and it's it's a wasteland now, and it's setting the tone for everything that's going on around it. The action speaks for itself, but the music helps set the tone of the desolation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what annoys me? That actual artists these days, the ones who have like shows and seminars and museums, they're the only ones now who are allowed to be weird. We're not allowed to be weird anymore. Musicians aren't allowed to be weird anymore. I know we are. It's not popular. Like, it's not popular to be like, I want to actually take my time to make this track. Give me a week or two where I can make it so that this really does feel like you're walking in New York. That's a prison. It's not just, let's get a synthwave beat that fits the mood. Like that is
good point. Yeah.
Marvel in a nutshell. Like,
like it's not terrible, but it's nothing like spectacular either. And what do you think though, Spock, about when you play this for people in your VC and in the voice chat? What comments do you get from them? Do they just say it's good, or do they actually give you other feedback?
I mean, I get mixed responses.
Okay.
I get some people who say they really they like it and they wanna hear more, obviously, like you guys. I hear people who also tune out a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna name anybody. It's not anybody I usually talk to on a daily basis, but some people I do show it goes one ear out the other. Those people exist. Like, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Good music. I'm not trying to boast, but even like when I don't show my music, like say a band that's just acceptably, they're great, and it doesn't really translate with them. There are some people on this planet who just don't care about music.
Agreed.
As boggles that makes me, like, my brain, it's a thing, and I've run into it quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's not as popular, Cash. If anything, people don't like say straight away like, oh, this needs to be in the newest Marvel movie. It's not a thing anymore. People want to see that triumphant orchestra with like the 8-string chorus where it's basically overdone like 1,000 times. Dun, 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 dun. Like, come on, man. How many times am I gonna hear just variations on that
Well,
score?
dude, it's just like anything following these trends. Oh, dude, this game is so popular, and then like a week later, oh, I'm not playing it anymore. I said, I thought you said this was like one of the greatest games you've ever played in your life. Oh, well, I played it after a week, and I'm not playing. Okay, I guess it's not as great as you thought it was.
enough the attacks on me, Cash. But it's sad. It's sad that someone would go in there and say this about it.
It stinks.
I mean, honestly, there, honestly, because the music is supposed to tell the story as well. It's not supposed to overpower in the movie if you're doing it for a movie. But it's supposed to complement along. But what's great about it, if you do get the soundtrack for it, to sit back and you're listening to music and it's telling that story and you remember what you saw, it's supposed to complement it as best as possible.
Yeah.
And I'd say this is, it's like, that's the sad thing. We don't have prog rock like we used to. And this borders that line of prog rock in some ways.
Yeah, and like Tim just talked about, I mean, Hans Zimmer is another person. I mean, that soundtrack for Gladiator is absolutely incredible. Absolutely.
My sources from Disney said Spock is on. What's up, Tim?
Yes. Tim's always usually looking for you. Yes.
Well, what about Jan
Found
Hammer?
me.
He did.
I mean, you had Jan Hammer, who's done so many forms of music and in different tones. I mean, just listening to what he has for when he was doing it for Miami Vice, and
Miami
the
Vice,
one for the theme, and then one for Crockett, his theme. And there's a difference, and it fits what his personality is, and the theme fits what you're expecting for seeing in Miami.
Exactly.
It tells that story. It knows that it's this is for this is for that, this is for this. It's not for the whole damn thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's something that's overlooked a lot, is the idea of how can we translate music to the actual plot. It's like you can, you take your time.
Music can just tell a story too, and it doesn't even have to have
music
lyrics.
speaks.
Yes,
I want to have that on a t-shirt. It speaks.
It's just amazing to me, and people that's why a lot of the music, it's like, well, what did you think of the soundtrack? Even stuff like, as much as I love John Williams, I have to say that the sequel music just felt, it was just there. It didn't really make me feel something like the
The only one I think that was good was Ray's theme, honestly. But despite the character, the theme is pretty good. That's the only thing though, and even that one sounds like
and the Kenobi theme is good too. But it's just not what I expect to just be blown away amazing. From Mr. Williams.
It's definitely not a good thing. I'm definitely no moral.
It's just,
I'm no moral arbiter of Hollywood and the music industry, but I definitely think it runs deeper. I feel like people like Hans Zimmer and John Williams might have unintentionally played a part in what we have today. Maybe that's not their intention, but it's, it happens. Gentrification is a thing. A lot of people watch something and it becomes too popular, and then there becomes an increasing demand for it, and then creativity doesn't matter anymore because creativity takes too long. We need money. So,
Well, yeah, I think I think what the big problem was is he did such a good job, everybody wanted to copy him. But thank God we had James Horner out there that did his own take. You listen to the Star Trek 2 and 3 themes. And of course, his other works, Battle Beyond the Stars. And it's like, oh yeah, he's definitely got his own way.
Well, what about even the theme from go ahead.
I was just gonna say with James Horner, yes, I ran up Field of Dreams, but you listen to the music in Field of Dreams, and that evokes emotion too.
Yeah.
What about even the theme in Voyager? Like, however you feel about the show.
Oh yeah. I have you said that.
Like, it's just
Jerry Goldsmith had his own style.
Just great.
Right.
Absolutely great.
Exactly. And he's the one that gave us that, it's that cinematic, boom, da 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 da, which was, eventually was a motion picture and was taken for 5 Next Generation, various Star Trek movies after that. I mean, again, its own style, and you start delving into the rest of the soundtrack, and it's like, oh yeah, each one has, again, each one is for each scene, and sometimes each character. And it's not John Williams. It's him.
Yeah. Because remember, in the motion picture, Ilea had her own theme.
Yep. Da, 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 da,
Just
la,
there's
da, da,
just
da.
there's
But
just not many composers out there that you just go, man. Like there's a few,
mhm.
but there's just not many. You go, man, this music is just so amazing. Like it just blows your mind
Well, when you listen to
because
the
it just
It's
fits so
say
well. It just
what
fits so
you
well
will
with the
about
show. Or
Danny Elfman, but even his music has its own style.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, it does
oh, definitely,
definitely. Oh yeah.
Spider-Man's a good
yeah.
example.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That beginning, not a lot of people do that. So it's
Mhm.
very they got their own
Well,
things going on.
well, I mean, he even did the Simpsons theme for crying out loud. I
He
Mhm.
mean,
did. He
The
did.
yeah.
Simpsons.
So yeah, Simpson, Batman. I mean, all across the
His
board.
themes for Beetlejuice and Batman are very different.
Yeah, they are.
Hmm.
They are
Yeah,
definitely.
and then you got Christopher Frank, who did Babylon 5, and each season had its own theme and corresponding to what that season was supposed to be about, and then going into the aspect. And yeah, we're kind of losing that. It's
Mhm.
we
Oh wait.
it yeah, it's become generic because everybody wants to sound like
Right.
Williams. Everybody wants to sound like whoever it is, Zimmer or what, and
Yes.
they're not looking at themselves. What
Right.
sound would you make?
Like
How would
I
you
think
approach it?
even though I know he's worked with J.J. Abrams and Jar Jar Abrams, whatever, but like Michael Giacchino, I think of course he's done a lot of the music for Pixar films, and it just
Mhm.
every theme that he had, music that he did always sounded different, and it's just like,
Okay.
oh well, that's his style. That's awesome. Like we need more of that kind of stuff again. But
Well,
Yeah.
I believe it was him, and I'm probably going to say his last name wrong, but see, Jablonski, who studied under Hans Zimmer and do
Mhm.
create their own styles. Yes, there might be some things that sound very similar to a Hans Zimmer score, but you got to give credit where credit's due. They learned under a good teacher.
yes,
Right.
A lot
I
more
mean,
people that you guys should look like a specific person everyone here should look up, because you probably already know him, is Bruce Broughton, and he's the guy who
Hmm.
made the soundtrack for the Orville. I mean,
Yeah.
he's explored what's it called, displayed like he can be very he has a huge variety of what he can jump into. Like he can make stuff that sounds almost like the prequels, but he put his own spin on it. And I think my favorite part about his composing career is the third season's intro. Like they changed the whole theme song. Everything is just different, and it's that's definitely a composer everyone should look up. Bruce Bronson. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but
mhm.
yeah, I agree, man. That's very unpopular. Just like
Yeah.
classic rock died, just like rock is dying,
oh,
and
it's
now rap
yeah.
is a big thing. It's kind of that
Well,
transition over into the
Well,
but
movies.
even
you
rap
know,
is just a lot of noise. But yeah, go ahead, Mike.
and talking about how a lot of music sounds the same. It's a
Yeah.
shame that for Star Trek specifically, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine in particular, that Ron Jones wasn't allowed to continue to write music 'cause his music was very different from Dennis McCarthy's music for Next Generation and
Mhm.
DS9.
Right.
It's a
Well, I
shame
think
that
Now,
this stuff can't
also
exist, but
David Bell.
Mhm.
it's a shame that this stuff can't exist and have the fans be humble about it. Like if I'm a fan of this stuff, which I'm not, if I liked this generic crap, I would at least, say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. They all do sound the same, but I like them anyways. Why is it that people
Right.
get so easily offended when you tell them that? Like this sounds the same. I just don't like modern rap music because it all sounds the same. Oh, your music taste
Mhm.
sucks, bro. Like you shouldn't even be talking. Like I'm just not
Mhm.
allowed to
Yeah.
have an opinion on it. But like I obviously am.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know why they get so offended. Be a little bit more
Well,
humble and accept the
It
fact that
yeah.
yeah, it's not that original.
it
You're
hurts
not
them.
willing to accept the cookie cutter
Yeah, they
music
just
No.
it
that's
hurts
out there.
them because
I'm not trying to like take away your childhood or that there's something deep in that song that you really find that's important to
right.
you. Maybe there is. I'm not disqualifying that. All I'm saying
Mhm.
is the beat, the rhythm, vocals, nothing is new. That's
Mhm.
why I like artists from, early 2000s and before is because a lot of them tried to do something different.
Yeah, there was
And it's not just that era. There are
for
some
the
musicians now who do that too, but they're
for
not
the
that popular.
Orville. There was 5 people that did music for that show.
There was Joel something. I forget his name.
Mm-hmm.
McNeely, I
Debney,
think.
John Debney. Yeah, McNeely, Joel
Yeah.
McNeely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Joel McNeely and Bruce Brown were, I was told, were the most like
Yeah, he did one
central.
episode in 2017, according to IMDb. Yeah.
They were the more central composers of the show, but there were others as well.
Yeah.
Kevin Kaska, he did 2 in 2022. Okay.
You know what's sad? You used to be able to tell what decade a song came from just by listening to it.
Listening to it.
Now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you hear
that's true.
music and it's all so generic and
Yeah.
so, formulaic that
Mhm.
it's like, okay, was this from the 2010s, late 2000s, or is it from 2020? Because it all sounds alike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
Because they're
the
all
thing
being
is,
composed the same way.
the thing is, I'm going to give Dennis McCarthy a little bit of love here because, when he was doing all the Star Trek projects, especially Next Generation, he was really hampered with what he could do for it, because I think we all know about how micromanaged all the Star Trek series were.
They were,
but he finally,
Yeah.
he was let loose for Star Trek Generations, and I think that is a beautiful score that he had for that movie. The soundtrack is great. It invokes Star Trek without you relying on all the true tropic music that usually you hear in Star Trek.
Mhm.
And you see all the other things that he worked on, be it the Scorpion King, or or Tanya and Nancy, the Inside Story, for crying out loud. Working on V's series and V, the Final Battle. Twilight Zone, all this stuff. I mean, he's been all over the place with his music, and obviously each one has a little bit of a tone. The sad thing is he was hampered with Star Trek, and which kind of gave that generic sound to Star Trek, I hate to see, all the way back to the Next Generation.
I really like my favorite episodes, or not episodes, like parts of the Next Generation, is when Ron Jones was in charge of the composing, because he used analog synthesizers for a lot of the episodes.
Mhm.
The very first season, for example, that was all Ron Jones.
Mm-hmm. Which Gene Roddenberry didn't want. He didn't want a new age sound to Star Trek. So he obviously was good if he was able to sneak that in.
Mhm.
What's up, Nerdporio?
Boy, it's
Michael
Brian
Chiklis Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Chiklis Jr. is here.
We're safe. The commission's here. We're safe.
Hope you're doing well, Brian.
So this one is I want to give this one, it's gonna sound funny, like more of an America type feeling.
Okay.
So I try to add like some marching drums and stuff. So I named this one "In God We Trust," and it's basically, I don't know what you would use it for, but it's something.
America, love it or leave it.
So that one, I was actually thinking about doing a little bit more guitar on that, but it came out so melancholy. I think I decided to leave it.
Okay. I'm gonna blow your mind a little bit here, Spock. When listening to it myself, I was not thinking of an American series or American thing at all. If you remember, of course, back in the day with BBC and ITV and all that, Channel 4 in England,
I recall it.
you
Yeah.
had all these, yeah, you have all these shows, and basically they rely a lot on synthesizers and music like that, be it all across the board. And this sounds like something that would have been out of the 60s, a British show involving someone who is or was from the military, and he's now as a civilian going out and having like an equalizer or something like that.
I like that
So
it gives you a story. That means a lot.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of thinking through there, like it's not like the Baron or the Persuaders or that, but I mean it's its own thing. It's not even necessarily copying that, but it's like, yeah, you can see that this, especially in the 60s, might have been a guy who was in World War II, and now it's the 60s now, and he's some sort of crusader of justice, but it's with that melancholy thing there. It's since that tone of how he is. You're not going to be expecting a jolly laugh right. He might have someone come in like a Huggy Bear or something like that, or such, but that provides a little bit of a laugh. But it's not him that's doing it.
Yeah. I'll try if I can to open one of these projects up so I can show you guys the stems and everything inside. I recently had a what's it called, an OS problem with Windows. I had to reinstall it on a new SSD. So I haven't tested to see if my projects will still open, but I'm pretty sure they will. Hopefully.
And we do have a question in the chat. When is episode 2 gonna drop?
That's a good question. I understand that.
Of your episodic series.
That's a very good question. I understand a lot of people have already asked me on that, especially Robert. I haven't really I haven't really had obviously the motivation to continue it because of the amount of editing I was putting into it, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. It's just I'm trying to really put aside time to where I'm just gonna dedicate a whole week to it and get that done. I don't know if I'm gonna do it this month, but I do have already. I can say this: I have all of the scenes shot, so all I need now are the voices, right? And not just that, I need to also segment it, make it feel like an episode. So I have all the clips I need. Now it's just time to paint the canvas and have it all make sense and seamless like a movie. That's the whole point. That's why this is so tough. That's why it's been taking a really long time, is because I have no knowledge in film or any of that stuff. I haven't taken any of those classes. It was just funny because the stuff I took in high school and college were the complete opposite. I never thought in my life I would ever think about making like a little sideshow for fun, but that's another thing. It's just been a very big hindrance on me. I don't really know a good workflow. Well, but once I figure that out, I'll definitely be having
more need voice talent, huh? There's Spock. What's the matter? Is the voices in your head not good enough between those pointed ears of yours, son?
It's so funny because like Star Trek Online could be even so much more, but I think they need a new engine. I think the story is pretty cool. There's definitely a lot you can play with that MMO, but I think the PvP has potential. I just think that there's other things that they can do, and I'm sure you agree with this, Spock, that that game, of course, has become more about greed than it used to be. I mean,
it's a pay-to-win game. Everyone who plays that game will agree with you. But the thing is, Brian, I wanted to eventually take the show to Unreal Engine. I don't want to keep filming it in Star Trek Online the rest of the series. As much as I could, and as easier as that could be, it does not look good. And I want to make it look good. I know I don't have to, And I know people who are watching just want to see the STO story, but if I'm going to show the STO story, I want to make it feel like a Star Trek show because it's a good story on there. And I think what was lacking for me on STO is when I was playing the campaign, I don't like the pacing. It's just, it takes you out of it. There's really awkward moments, especially in the earlier season, because that's when the game was first coming out. But there are newer stuff too, in my opinion, like when they introduced Lita again, and they brought back recently Tasha Yar and Ezri Dax. A lot of this stuff was just awkward, and I don't like the pacing. So what I'm trying to do is fix that as best as I can. And that's another reason why it's taking a bit. But the second episode, I'll give a little bit of a synopsis. The episode 2 for the episodic series is about the Azura freighter, which is lost in the Azura Nebula, and we are summoned. It's mentioned in the ending of episode 1, where Arbol is then asked to go investigate, see what happened to the Bolian freighter, and there's possibly a chance of Orions. And when was the last time we saw Orions in Star Trek? Until this point. So this is after Next Generation. I don't believe we saw them in the Next Generation, although I could be wrong.
No, I don't think so.
No, we didn't.
So before the Next Gen would have been TOS. And I don't think they were even in TOS that much. So
yeah.
And
yeah, they basically
it was until Enterprise really did it.
What?
Yeah. Well, actually, you had the Orion captain, or the Orion spy that was disguised as the Andorian. He had the one with Goth, not Goth, but Garth of Captain Garth on the Mental Institute. And then, if you want to take a look, it was an illusion of a slave girl with Captain Pike.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we really got to see more of them in Enterprise. What's up, Cash?
Yeah.
What do you think at this point that Star Trek Online could add that would make you want to play every day?
More film tools. Their theater mode is really bad. If they fix it, make it more user friendly, make it like an iMovie where we can actually have an. There are a lot of players right now who will probably argue with me on that, saying that it's fine the way it is. They're used to it. That's the only reason they're making that argument. I'm a brand new player who started 3 years ago. I can tell you it's ass. They need to fix it. I've played with a lot better movie theaters than this. And Assetto Corsa is the best example.
Also, let's look at it this way, too. The game's almost 15 years old. It will be next February. 15 years old.
Yeah.
It's time to upgrade that graphics engine.
Exactly.
And
So
I agree.
Then what about the
In the
whole
set.
thing with Unreal? Like, we've talked about, you and I, that we want to learn Unreal together, or we'll work on stuff together. But after what's happened with Unreal and the nonsense of the politics garbage, like, can we just still bypass that?
We can still play. We can still do it. They're only like they're trying to show their little flag here, like we're inclusive and everything. But let them do what they need to do. We'll do what we need to do. It's not going to hinder us at all.
Good.
It's just we gotta obviously, society today. We can't be like the '90s anymore. As much as I wish we could, maybe if we meet the right people, we get the right, rights, the legal contracts, everything signed. Sure, maybe we can get away with it. But like as it is right now, for just an up and comer indie developer, you got to be careful with that stuff. They're not going to allow you to do it. So just common sense stuff right there is, unfortunately, hypersensitivity is a thing, and that is a majority of the audience these days. But I'm not trying to be what's it called? I'm not trying to be unaware of the idea that Assetto Corsa is a brand new game. It's an Unreal Engine 4. Star Trek Online is, like you said, 15 years old. Big difference there already. But it's the fact of how easy to navigate. That's all I need is an easier navigatable. That's not even a word, but an easier to navigate UI, because the one on STO is so bad, man. It's like they could definitely make it better. The tech is there. All I'm asking is not add new tech, just refine the UI, make it better, make it faster. I'm sure you can do that. You've done a lot of other things.
What about the PvP? Do you think things could be improved? Do you think it would also be crazy? I remember a number of years ago, people was playing, of course, Star Trek Online, and some people were like, "Oh, that's asking for too much." Would it be too much if you have 5 different people on the ship and they're all controlling different parts of the ship? Would that be crazy? We've talked about
No, that'd
this
be
a little bit
awesome.
before.
It would
Maybe
change the way the game is
Mhm.
played. Unfortunately,
Well, that's
STO
kind of
is
how the Star Trek VR experience game was.
Mhm. That's
true,
what I
but
hear,
even that
yeah.
game has its limits because it's
Yeah, it
almost like with
does.
these Star Trek games, they Resurgence excluded from this, by the way. I thought that was a pretty decent game. I finally got to play that. But all of these Star Trek games go half-cocked. We're gonna go halfway with an idea and
Right.
not go all the way with it. And that's what
I
I
mean,
felt with Bridge Crew. It's like, why can't we walk around? Why can't we
why
beam
can't
down?
why can't we also get
Mhm.
something more like Elite Force, and then what we get to do is play multiplayer after we play a fun single player campaign? Like, I don't know
That'd be
why
cool.
um why
You're right though,
why
Chris, yeah.
can't we have that? And it's like, look, it's like we have all these other first person shooter games, but man, it would be great to get another quality Elite Force game like the first one with these graphics, with a lot of these actors, the older actors signing on. They'd probably be like, no, we have to have the new actors. No. We what was Elite Force was the Voyager crew, if I remember. You got a lot of the Voyager
Yeah,
crew.
Right.
it was Star Trek Voyager Elite Force,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and then,
Exactly.
and
A
then
lot
the
a
next
lot
one was
of the
just
Star Trek
titled
actors have weird
Star Trek
contracts
Elite Force
signed.
2. Yeah.
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 A lot of these actors have weird contracts signed for specifically for Star Trek that make it tough for these kind of things to happen. Like, for example, Kirk has like some thing to protect his face, so his
Mhm.
face can't be in video games at all. I think Leonard Nimoy had the same thing, although I think that might have been wavered because of his appearance in Resurgence. But
Mhm.
Mhm.
uh, it still applies for Kirk. If you go to STO and you go through the story, there isn't actually a moment where you get to go back in time on the original Enterprise and explore, and you
Mhm.
should see Kirk. But what do you see instead? You see him passed out on the ground, face first. You don't get to see his face. You just see the back of him.
Well,
And
that
that's
Mhm.
Kirk.
sucks. Okay.
That's Kirk, though. But that's all they give
Like
you in
like
the STO.
like when
That's
Shatner played his
yeah.
brother, Kirk's brother.
Yes. Yeah,
That's yeah.
I think it's
Mhm.
annoying when stuff like
Mhm.
that exists because
Mhm.
people are fans. Let them be fans. Let them enjoy your content. Why are you prohibiting it? Like, that's
Right.
the first thing I don't get when it comes to, I get you don't want your face to be in, watch my profanity here, but like stupid sexual stuff like porn
Mhm.
and Rule 34 and all these weird fucking,
Mhm.
categories you can think of. I get that.
Mhm.
Like, I wouldn't want my face on that shit either. But
Mhm.
there's got to be a better way to mitigate it so that there's a way to filter that and video games. Because
Well,
video
also
games, there's no crime
mhm.
there.
Well, what
Well,
about
maybe they
what
just need to go and talk to him and negotiate. Maybe
right,
that's what he's
exactly.
wanting.
Well,
He
why
wants to
don't
protect and stuff like that. But a lot of
Maybe. I
people have
mean,
an aversion to him. It's like
I thought you meant me go talk to them, but yeah, they should definitely go talk to them.
it's very
They're
well,
not
why
gonna
don't
want to
you,
listen to
man?
me.
Hey, Bill, I got this innocent little thing here. I'm an independent type of guy. I'm not looking to make money and such like that. And I'll show you what I have planned. And he might go, yeah, go for it.
That's
it's
true.
You
That's
it's
should.
in,
true.
To the final frontier.
it's
I
interesting
mean, you're
too
not
because
wrong
like
though.
more Star Trek games are coming out, but even that strategy one that came out recently, people aren't really talking about it, and I don't think it
Because
did
it's
very well.
Stellaris.
Okay,
It's
because it's
basically just
Solaris. I got
Stellaris.
you.
People are
Yeah.
saying that don't buy this. It's $40, first of all. Don't buy it because Stellaris has it's cheaper, it's $20, and it has a mod overhaul that makes the entire game Star Trek, and it plays better than the actual official one does.
Ugh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy that if I were you. That was a big letdown. Wherever their money went to make that misguided. They could have just upgraded Bridge Crew to finally have an update where we can walk around, beam down on a planet, shake an alien's hand, and fight Gorn. Like, why can't we do that?
Well,
Well, that's what they should do. They should, get involved with either Activision or some other company to buy the original rights to Bridge Commander and expand upon it. Where you do go
And
down to
it could be
engineer.
done. Yeah, it could easily be
Yeah.
done. I've seen a lot of
Now,
crazy
now,
VR games.
now, it wouldn't be called Bridge Commander, but it would be a sequel where you go to more than just one particular area of the ship. You go down to the
Ship
shuttle bay.
commander.
You go down to, you can call it that, Starship Commander. You go into sick bay. You go into the holodeck.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yeah,
have some
why
nice
not?
little Easter eggs in there, or you have something in there that makes sense to the story. Give it an overall story. Okay, there's a problem down in engineering. Well, you take your engineer back down into engineering, you're controlling the engineer, and you're telling the other people in engineering, okay, seal off that line over there. We can't let the plasma leak any further. Sir,
Yeah,
we're about to experience a warp core breach. Prepare to eject the core.
I mean, that would be cool, and that's like that would be set up perfectly for like a first-person shooter. Just
Yeah.
with the shooting, and then you have to go and fix things on the ship, and like that could make a lot of Star Trek fans happy. And I know Resurgence has some of that, but maybe with Resurgence, if it becomes popular enough, and now that of course it's also on Steam, I see there's about 545 very positive reviews overall. Um, why don't they just keep building on that and see? But
They're
I
not.
think
I
they
mean, they're
won't.
probably gonna
No.
add more
No.
like
Mhm.
story. But the
Mhm.
thing when I played that game, I knew what I was jumping into. I actually put all my preconceptions
Yeah.
aside because what I'm expecting is for a true Star Trek game, what STO it has, but magnified. So you have the ability to go in first person, walk around, do all the things you could do in Star Trek, but obviously dumbed down enough so it's not too overwhelming. You want to be able to jump in, play the game, kind of like
Look,
Skyrim, and that's why I like Skyrim a lot.
I don't think you're right. Oh well, Skyrim is amazing, even with the bugs and all
We
the
need to have
modding
like a
that's going on.
Skyrim
Mhm.
Star Trek,
Skyrim Star
really,
Trek. Oh my gosh, that'd be.
because that's what Starfield was gonna be. But that's what I'll say right now
Yeah,
is wait
yeah,
off a couple of years because Star Trek fans unfortunately have to wait for mods. That's our game.
Yeah.
We have to wait until a really good game like Starfield is modded enough to where it's all Star Trek. And that's gonna happen, I feel like.
yeah. It could happen.
But
I,
the thing that
I
hinders
I hope
that
so.
game is you can't fly. You can't drive cars.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in that game that just don't make sense. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should be able to go around with a cool rover and stuff on the
yeah,
planet.
so
Not
even
just
mods
have to
won't
have a
save
mod.
that game, I
Yeah,
think.
Well, I think they're adding one vehicle to drive around.
one. Yes, one.
Oh,
But
finally.
yeah,
I mean, at
I
least
mean,
that's something though.
yeah, I mean, when it comes to Starfield, I was excited about it because it sounded that this was going to be good, and yeah, I think it still can be great.
Yeah.
But they don't seem like they give a care about it. It's like, okay, we
No,
got it, we
not
got it out
enough.
there. We have no DLCs planned or expansions or anything.
That's sad because they were
Yeah,
saying
exactly.
like the fans
I
were all
mean,
saying before that there's so many Easter eggs and look at when you like I remember there was somebody right now who's actually beat most of the story who said that there's a part where you can go and see that there is eventually like some kind of I don't remember the details but like a portal and eventually it's going to involve them bringing in aliens and that's going to be their next expansion an alien expansion but that is sad that we're able to conclude all of that but the devs themselves are saying no we're not going to do it. Come on, it's there, you can do it.
Yeah, I don't.
They have how much? They should have had things already planned right away at the get-go.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's so easy to mock Starfield, but even stuff that Sony's doing, like it's easy to mock them too. I just you guys gotta just start making people excited again. I mean, imagine if somebody brought in a Sly Cooper or even a well, we've already had enough Crash, but like Jack and Daxter, what if that actually came back with the same kind and somebody else did it because I don't think it can be Naughty Dog this time. Somebody else would have to get the rights and had the same kind of humor, the same kind of gameplay as the old games. I think people would just freak out. A lot of the fans because they'd be, oh my gosh, this game is actually back. This franchise is back. And yes,
Like
I
low
agree
spec,
with you with the Skyrim Star Trek. Imagine
that would be
you
great.
might kill this character if you have to, or this happens, or these situations go on. You're building these stats. You talk to this character. Yeah, I mean, it could be really cool.
Like
Skyrim could
low
be a
spec
lot of
was saying
different,
earlier though, like
yeah,
having
different
Kyle
formulas.
Katarn.
Mhm.
Kyle
Yes.
Katarn. Imagine if they dropped out of nowhere, Dark Forces 3. Here you go.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
And it's
well,
like
think
there's
about the
no
reviews that the remaster of Dark Forces is getting. It's getting a lot of positive feedback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
and-
imagine it's like that exactly though. Like they don't
Mhm.
actually decide to make it too modern. They just want to use what worked. That would
Mhm.
blow everybody away. 'cause
I would
it's
love
just
them
so
to say,
uncommon.
Okay, we made some progress with Knights of the Old Republic. Let's finally, well, basically, in some ways, it is the Old Republic. Let's actually finally make a new Knights of the Old Republic 3. Oh, but we're getting the remake. But then they're like, we're going to change the combat and stuff. I don't think the combat was bad. I understand, but I liked it. It was different with basically in a roll of the dice, and then you fire your blasters at the
Yeah.
enemy, and they fire back at you. I like that combat. It was a more of a turn. It was turn based basically, but
Yeah,
it
they're
was
trying
cool.
to bring in the
Yeah.
D20 role playing system into it. So of
It
course
was
it's gotta be
different,
true.
and if it's just action packed now, if they really finally do make this remake of KOTOR, then the combat's gonna feel like a lot of this other stuff,
Modern.
and I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's gonna be a good direction.
Well, that's what I mean. Imagine how cool it would be if they just didn't do that and they
Yeah.
just upgraded the visual quality of what you guys had before.
Yes.
Not
they
just a
or even
remaster,
added
not
some
just
more
changing the
content of
textures.
stuff, like with Bastila Shan and
Yeah.
other things. It would have been amazing.
Not
mean
just like a, a simple little remaster like they did with Dark Forces recently. I mean like a full on
Yeah.
they remodel, they retexture, they hold the whole thing, the code from the very ground up. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But it probably is because they just don't know how to figure it out. Simple
No,
as that.
yeah, they probably don't, or they don't care enough.
And it
Oh
could
my
also
god,
be
we
a
got the
thing
pirates here.
where the people who originally worked on these games are no longer working in the video game industry, so all that knowledge is pretty much gone because you have new people who have no idea how to work that coding.
Yeah. Learn the code.
Yeah, learn to code and just I don't know. But I don't know how many times fans ask and beg and plead and for these franchises to come back the way they're supposed to come back, as in just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't need to fix a lot of these things. You can build up more of the gameplay. You can build this, give people more options. Like it seems really simple, but it's like, oh, what is it? What is that? That's too much to ask. Why are you asking so much? Because once again, we've had this stuff before.
Yeah.
So I
Why
want
is it too much
stuff
to
we
ask
had
if it's something
before.
we've already been given?
It's not asking too much. That's the thing. We're
I
asking
don't
for
think
very
so.
simple things.
But that's
It's
the
not
argument the drones
hard.
always give, man. The people who are trendies, which is fine, whatever, but it's just like Val, if they really wanted to, for example, they really could give people that Half-Life 3 experience that they want. Sure, there would be criticisms, obviously, because they have a lot to live up to, but their new game that's coming out looks more like Overwatch and Fortnite. It's like, I don't know, guys. Sure, they had Counter-Strike, and that's still the formula works well, but I would love Val to. I know how much money they're making with Steam, but I would love them to say, you know what? Let's start making some cooler games. And the fact that they actually had concept art for Left 4 Dead 3 and they never did anything with it is still like disappointing to me.
I don't think they're gonna listen to a bunch of pirates.
That's right.
Arr. Well, that's what's going to happen.
going
if they
on
don't
here?
do this stuff. Yeah. Don't make
The
it
pirate
to the
bay?
pirates.
This is what Baron and Cash do at any opportunity they
And you
get.
guys are who I used to get my
Especially when
toys
I'm
from
not
when I was
here.
14 years old.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So that's how I got my stuff.
Not,
Thank you.
not confirm nor deny.
I'm not going to confirm or deny that there were things that happened in my past that I might have been involved with piracy. Oh, excuse me. What was that YouTube? I heard nothing. Yeah.
I know not.
What the hell?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Besides, why be a pirate when you could be a warrior of the Klingon Empire?
I see nothing.
But
you know what?
yeah, let's talk about Alien. What do you guys think about the new one coming out?
I saw the teaser trailer and I was mildly intrigued.
Yeah, Yeah, I think that's right. I saw it with Spock before, and I feel the same way. I'm intrigued by it a bit, but I don't know. We'll see.
I'm as motivated by any trailer can do to a person. Let me see the full damn thing.
That's right.
Like,
Let's see how this turns
a
out.
lot of
Let's see what they've
trailers make
learned.
it look so much better than it
Right.
actually is. I want to see how the pacing actually goes.
I mean, how many Alien films have we had that bombed? About 2 or 3, potentially, something like that.
That's being generous. I'd say like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
If we're going from like Alien 3 and
Yeah.
above.
Jace, you know you loved it, man. Stop being
Alien 3
harsh.
was awesome. Come on, man.
Yeah, it had a future Doctor Who in there. Come on, man.
Jace.
You can't say that.
It also had a son of a Doctor Who star in there, if I remember right. Come on, man.
Jace, just tell us.
Jace, it's Pride Month, man. We're your standards.
Jace, come on, man. Jace, you know you love what they've done to Doctor Who, and you can't wait to watch The Acolyte. You love it, man. You're so excited. You're gonna
be your ally, man. Don't fight us. We're your ally.
Can we blame him though? Can we blame him? I mean, after Covenant and Prometheus, in my opinion wasn't that bad. It's different, but it was like, finally seeing something similar to 1979, kind of. But it had questionable CGI, that's for sure. I don't know how I feel about the Prometheans.
I just what was the one I watched in high school? Was it Coven? I think it was the one that Joss Whedon did. Yeah, well, I think that was the one I watched. Was that Coven?
Don't look at me, man.
I don't know.
Your personal
I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't go to
I
high
know.
school.
I just remember. I
Yeah.
just
What
remember
is a
there
pirate,
was
man?
humans and aliens, and they were fighting each other, and there were a lot of soldiers, and there was a
Is this
lot
a
of
Xenomorph film?
aliens. Yes, I think it might have been. Yeah.
What
What's
year was
wrong
it?
with-
Robert?
What year
early
did I watch
2000s or
that?
before or after?
No, that was in the 90s. I watched it. So yeah,
Okay, so maybe
96, something like that. 97.
wow, actually I don't know what that might have been.
I'll go look it up. I guess.
What's wrong with aliens and humans living together in peace? Come on, man. Don't sow discord with our alien brothers and sisters out
Because
there.
Baron, because anytime a peace attempt has happened, wars broken out, and then you know what happens next.
Are you saying you want a xenomorph in your house hanging out with you, Baron? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I already do. It's called honey.
If he does, this is what he's going to be saying next time.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Steve Buscemi in the background.
Shut up, Donnie. But I just want to bring go a little step back to music on this. And I really like that rendition of Hotel California that they had in there. A lot of people pooping on me, but it's like there's something about that one with that Mexican band sounding.
Yeah,
and like, yeah.
And because you like Spaceballs so much, and we all do.
How many assholes we got on this ship, anyhow? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Love Spaceballs, man.
Great movie.
You have an idea. You have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly Vespa, but yeah, you have an idea.
Yes. Oh, man, it's funny. Yeah.
I mean,
other ones are
that's an interesting thing to talk about that might be hard to say on stream, but man, there's some really beautiful women in these films, like specifically Alien and Spaceballs. Like, woo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
man.
Well, I mean,
they don't build them like that no more.
Yeah, we were even talking about Babylon 5. It's like, wow, whenever the women that they bring on that show, beautiful. They do a good job acting. And they're strong. Yeah, Ivana.
Ivana is a beautiful woman.
Lackley. Yeah,
Lackley.
Lackley. Excuse me. Sorry.
Lackley.
that was terrible. That's like
I thought you guys were saying. I hope you were saying broccoli.
Yeah,
Broccoli. Yeah.
It's like Cash last time with commerce.
Yes.
How many
Yeah.
times
Oh
did
my God.
Aaron and I have to
Man
correct you on that?
Oh man, yeah.
With a man like Cash in his name, Cash Pop, there was
I
every such a time.
know.
You know, usually when Cash opens his mouth, this happens.
Well,
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
no, that's
no, Baron. That's not what happens. I mean, Spock can attest to this. He probably has Cash coming to his Discord sometimes, going,
You know what really grinds my gears?
Yeah, but so does Spock, man.
Yeah, I mean,
all
that's
but
what
hold on.
that's what
I've also
that's what
had to
Discord's there
correct
for.
Mike and Baron also in articles too. I'm the guy who finds the pronunciation of the Japanese words. I don't want to hear it.
except there have been some that you haven't even been able to pronounce.
I've done pretty good though.
I only find out about the articles.
We've had to help you out.
Yeah,
I
we
only
all
found
help
out
each
about
other.
the articles through you guys.
We always trash talk each other, but yeah,
I don't know how you guys do it because
we just want to
those
get
articles
things
piss
right.
me off.
I know. We just want to get things right, and so if we mispronounce a word, we'll go back and fix
Well,
the problem.
That's our goal. We find articles to piss people off. How's that?
We do.
That should
We
be our
do.
motto.
Not that that's your intention. I'm just saying I don't know how you guys can stomach it. It's crazy because like there's a lot of bullshit.
I'll tell you the truth. We can
Especially
laugh
that
at the
Doctor Who
article
one. Ugh.
as we're reading it,
Oh,
but also if we're going to talk about this article, I'm going to give you all the story that we have available to us.
Yeah,
and don't kid
all
yourself,
the
Spock.
information.
We have gone off on articles.
Yeah.
Especially
Oh yeah.
when they're
Especially the
absolutely
D&D one.
I think I caught a bit of that, Baron, with the Doctor Who one. I couldn't say I couldn't regret it though.
The D&D
I definitely understand.
I went on.
I couldn't regret watching it. It was
Baron-
definitely. I felt everything you guys were saying about it because that was probably the most annoying article I've ever seen you guys read.
I even got mad recently about Helldivers 2, or as I like to call it sometimes, Hell Connection 2, because Mike still can't play.
No, I'm not the only one.
Annoying.
I've joined their Discord, and I'm not the only one that still can't.
Arrowhead, get the arrow out of your head and then
Seriously.
fix the shit. Come on.
Fix your shit. And yet, Spock and I know
and-
people who say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with Helldivers 2. Maybe something's wrong with Mike's computer."
We were able to get it in a fire team like no problem.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. What's the deal?
What's different
we
with
were able
fire
to
team
get
and
into
Helldivers?
Dark
I can tell you, it's a bigger
Oh,
player
was it?
base on Helldivers. So
Yes.
they gotta start pointing
Well-
the fingers back at themselves.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Fix your shit.
Well, not only that, it is becoming much more bigger than what they have for Helldivers because they're losing people playing.
They're
watching
losing players. Yes.
Yeah, they're losing players because of all this. So it's like,
Mhm.
well, congratulations, guys. You know,
I mean,
It's not your guys' internet. I wanted to say that too. If anyone watching is having a similar issue like Mike, where you just constantly keep getting disconnected from Helldivers, there is a chance it's your internet. Definitely check that out first. But if you know it's not, chances are it's not your internet. It's most likely their servers. They literally have their stats on there. 137,000 players are on that server, maybe even more sometimes. That's crazy. So their game, from what I remember, Helldivers, Arrowhead said that their game was indie. They didn't have any preparation for what was about to happen. Like what all these players jumping in their game, they didn't expect that because Sony basically shouted them out. Said, "Here you guys go. This is a new game coming out. Here's a trailer for it." Made them the whole budget trailer. If they didn't do that, there is a chance that Helldivers could have probably been in a better state in development, but it's not that it's bad. It's just that the net code is horrible. There's
not only that. You look at one of their most recent updates where they helped fix some of the issues with trying to call in reinforcements, trying to call in your stalwart weapon. They're aware of other issues that they still haven't addressed, and one of them being connection issues.
And I hate when people instantly just conclude that to being your problem. Like it's something on your end.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteed 90% of the problems I face on Helldivers is because of the game. Any other game I play, I don't have these problems.
And 90% of the people that are saying some of that out there, I bet you our bots are, somehow involved with the studio.
They
So
eat the Helldivers goop.
Yeah, the simps and stuff like that.
They go to the Helldiver's lunch lady and eat all her goop. That's all they do every day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a wonderful bland glop. Oh, I love it. I love it. But the sad thing is, the game is not bland. It's fun. I love playing
It's very
Helldivers,
fun.
but
It's a very fun game. That's
but I'm not playing it until Mike is able to get on there. Until they sit back. Yeah, we fixed it.
In total, since I've purchased the game, I've only been able to play 32 hours and level up to level 15. I haven't been able to play anymore.
That's bad, and I know that's not because you haven't been really wanting to put in time. It's they just haven't been letting you, and nobody wants to play that game solo. They literally tell you that game is not meant to be played solo.
Exactly, and you can, but it's so much better with friends.
What's the point? You're gonna level up like every 2 hours. Never. If they want people to play solo, increase the XP you get on lower difficulties. Otherwise, there's really no point.
And and I don't want to play with a bunch of randoms because you know they're the ones that'll just take off like Leroy Jenkins, or as we call them, dwarves.
Blow you up.
But it's
blow
like
you up because they're they're being
if Mike's able to play with us, then it's like we'll start doing more stuff and whatever of Helldivers 2. But it's like until it's his problems fixed, like it just makes me not want to play the game. And I know that sounds petty, but it just that's how I feel.
I just I think that we need a better someone to speak out about it a little bit better, because there's nobody who's been able to address it. Like I think that it's annoying, specifically with Helldivers. They're putting themselves as a perfect game with all these awesome updates, but they're not addressing some of the underlying issues with connection problems. Why isn't that so well known enough so people can stop bitching and saying, "Oh, it's an issue on your internet, fix it"? Like a lot of those people will be shut up if they know that the game has internet problems. Then you wouldn't have those people anymore saying that crap. You would just get a lot of humble people being like, you know what, this game's bad. I know Vigi's one of those players. He's very humble. He knows a game for its flaws and he knows a game's for its pros.
True.
But he is just like, a lot of people don't see it that way. They're very narrow-minded, and because the game offered them so much enjoyment in the first couple of hours, the game is perfect. Doesn't work that way. I mean, I'm happy people are getting good response from it and they're not having any bugs. I hope that they'd never do, but that doesn't mean that nobody else isn't having any bugs. Like computers, code, it's unpredictable. No matter how many developers think that it is predictable, that's why bugs and glitches exist.
Yeah, like fix your stuff, and there's not just Mike having this issue. So let's fix this stuff. Let's get some women in there like Lockley and stuff.
Leslie Headland. We need Leslie Headland in there.
Oh no!
But you're talking about Fireteam too, man. Fireteam should not just be a 3-player game. I would love to have all 4s in there.
Yeah, it should be a 4-player game. I agree. I think they dropped the ball a little bit with that one.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have that 3-person with Space Marine too, but they also let drop that there's going to be certain different also types of going out there and doing parties, including PvP. So I mean, that's interesting. But.
And I'm just like, I want to keep telling people, like, just be careful about pre-ordering any of these new games, even ones that you're excited about, because there may be some problems that you didn't expect to experience that happened. So just be very careful. It's not so much all the woke stuff or the pandering stuff or whatever. It's other things in the game that can be problems, like technical issues, for example.
I mean, the only time I broke the rule, I admit it, I broke it even after seeing all these other problems with stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I broke it with the Battlefront 1-2 remaster. Because I figured, well, they did a great, even though it's a different company, they did a great job with Dark Forces. This is Aspire. They should be doing a good job because they have a reputation already. So it's like, okay. And, it was being offered for, that discount. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, I want a discount. No problem.
Yeah.
I didn't even load it into my computer because it was about ready to, when they hit and, all the people reporting, it's like, no. This is more than just 1 or 2 gripers. This is, huge. and ask immediately for a refund. It's like, I'm not even going to try it if this is the way. I'll just go back and playing my original games. I was looking forward to this, but you dashed my dreams. And that's for something you expect wouldn't be that way.
No.
But I'm back to never pre-ordering. Besides, stuff's so friggin' expensive. Wait until it goes on sale later on. I have patience.
Yeah, exactly. There's no rush. You have tons of games from the past and whatever to play for hours and hours until your eyes fall out of your socket. And there's
I haven't
still
even
fun
played
to
the new
play.
Spider-Man games yet.
Yeah,
I don't even know what they are.
I'm not. I'm gonna keep making fun of stuff like Spider-Man and the Lost Crown. It's not that I hate these games or like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. It's just like the direction. It's like, no, guys, like you had something great with Sands of Time. Go with more of that direction. That's what I want to see. Oh, we're gonna go back to a side scroller. I mean, yeah, that's not terrible, but I think sticking with the 3D stuff would have been cooler, personally.
Yeah.
For new Prince of Persia games. So,
well, I mean, but that's hard work, Cash. Come on,
I know
Cash.
it's too much. Come
why
on,
are you making us work? We want to sit around and throw basketballs in our office and goof off, and then just put in the minimal work as possible. We're too busy. We got pulling the drinks out of the fridge, and we got that big jar of cannabis, and it's like, wow, we're just chilling out here. maybe we'll get like about hey, we got 5 hours of work done today. Cool. Okay,
we did it.
Yay! Yay! We're ahead of schedule. Usually it's 4.
I mean, there's even a game out there, Questmaster, where they're the same company is like, we're going to work on giving you a Zelda experience, as in you're going to be able to make your own Zelda levels. Basically, that's pretty cool. There's potential there, so we'll see where it goes. But people are pointing out, especially this game is early access, and that there needs to be work. But hopefully the community can help them. But a lot of these early access games, it's like, I get the other argument, like, I don't want to help finish your game all the time. Do your own shit. And like, I get that. I agree. But
I got another beat to show if you guys want to hear it.
Yeah, man, go for it.
I don't know. Do we? I mean, okay, let's have a vote. Let's have a vote out there. Let's make this democracy. We don't want democracy to die.
This is it. This is the last beat you're allowed to show on here. No.
Ever.
Actually, this is Spock show today. He can show as many beats as he wants.
Tyrant.
All right, 1 second. This is what you guys made me feel like right now.
Okay. Hopefully this is good. I don't know. Wow.
If you've got an issue, here's a tissue.
It's the best one. I love that movie.
Oh man,
Gold member.
Woo! It's a funny film. They're all funny. I still think the first one's the best, but yeah, they're all funny.
So this one is called Casting Shadows. No reason behind the name. I was just trying to be edgy. But here's something. Maybe you guys can come up with a name for it.
Can't blame you on that. You could definitely use this as a cyberpunk theme, I think.
We'll use it for your theme.
Okay.
For your origin story.
Origin story.
You could use it before you're starting the stream.
True.
How about Guardian the Shadows?
Which name?
How about Guardian in the Shadows?
Guardian.
Yeah, Guardian in the Shadows.
Guardian in the Shadows. I like that. That's definitely better than Casting Shadows. I just didn't know what to name it. What's your why do you choose Guardian?
Well, it has, again, going back to stuff like Transers and the like that was, Full Moon Entertainment stuff that they had out there. And it almost sounds like someone who is like not necessarily a cop, but someone who is kind of watching over innocent civilians. Maybe something happened to him or his family. So the best way to be a guardian is to hide in the shadows because they can't see him or her. It could be a her too. Don't get me wrong. And when the time arises, they come out of the shadows. So they hide in the shadows to be a guardian and then make their presence known when needed.
Mm-hmm. That's a good. I like that. That's pretty good. That does sound pretty stealthy now that you bring it up, and very ominous. It's kind of like the vibe I like to go for. Is not too upbeat, too happy, and that's where I felt like I was in the gray area with this one. Is like it sounds a little upbeat, but there are moments where it kind of dies down a bit.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. I want to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, that hits kind of the both. You have that. What you were saying, there was a little bit of that optimism or the upbeat in there. That's the part of the person, doing the protecting. Right. When they come out, but then you got the people are in danger and they're hiding. They're hiding, watching. So you got that ever presence.
It's very nice.
Ominous.
Yeah, it's not like it's not too ominous though. It's got, like I said, the protector, and that's I think something that is hard to translate now is an upbeat melody that doesn't sound too cheesy, that doesn't sound too happy than it needs to be, but sounds just enough like this is a good thing that's happening right now. This is a positive thing. This is, yeah.
I mean,
there's darkness with hope.
Yep, that theme could be used as end credits. Could be used for a cyberpunk thing. It could be used for, any definitely 80s type game you wanted to do or a movie.
Video game.
It could all work for that.
A lot of my music sounds like it belongs in video game main menus, which I wouldn't mind doing. I'd love doing stuff like that. But yeah, that'd be cool. I like that name too, Padawannabe. Those names you're coming up with are awesome. Synthahol. That's cool. Guardian of the guardian that drinks Synthahol.
But yeah,
what new places is this? Didn't you order scotch, lady? I was ordering scotch before you were born, and whatever this is, this is not scotch.
Amen.
I love that scene. Scotty's a man of his whiskey, man. He knows what he's talking about.
Yep. Well, of course, he better. He's a Scotsman.
I still love when he's messing around with that Macintosh computer. He goes, "Oh, so quaint." He's like, he used the keyboard, so quaint. He's like the way he's typing and stuff.
Hello, computer.
Hello, computer. Yeah, it's just
my favorite is McCoy giving that lady that thing so she can grow a whole new kidney. And she's like,
"Oh yeah, whole new kidney." No, he did. I know, that was great. What is this? The Dark Ages? Yeah.
Any of these beats, by the way.
Take this. If you need anything, call me.
You're allowed to use any of these beats. I don't care. Copy them, play them back. That's the reason I'm showing these, is so content creators don't have to really worry about that crap. I understand though, it's not a true alternative. People want to use real music. I want to fucking play the Beatles in my streams. I want to play all these kind of amazing bands in my streams, but I can't. They won't let me. I mean, you can get copyrighted. That's the worst thing.
Maybe on Rumble, but
even if you go through the music beta on YouTube and you want to license the music, you have to pay for it. And some of it's, in those kind of deals where you have to pay for it each time you use the song in a video.
Right.
Yeah. And that's ridiculous. I mean, you guys should just feel the need. I mean, should all feel the need to just put something in the background so it doesn't feel dead. That's why we do this. But why is it that we're getting punished? It's ridiculous. I mean, we're just content creators. Granted, we're making money, but we're not trying to intentionally rip off their name. There should be some kind of diverge where instead of your video being copyright striked and you losing all the royalties, there is a split. So you get still money, and the music that was in your video, there should be a fair split for what they make as well.
I'll go ahead and show you one of the examples that they give for creator beta music, and let me just share my screen here. And
Go for it.
It's time to share the screen. There we go.
So
that's what we share for music.
As you
That's
can
enough
see
out
here,
of you, Baron.
Now, if you want to use some of these songs, this song right here, they're asking for 99 cents. So then you go to buy license, and then it gives you all the details as far as what you can use the license for. And, this particular license does not expire, supported in all regions.
So whose music are these? Like, it's just are these real artists like are on the radio, or are these just like made for YouTube?
They do have real artists on here. I mean, I'll just type in Stan Bush.
That's new for me. Wow.
Stan's Bush?
Stan Bush, Baron. Stan Bush.
I don't even know who that
is. Oh, man. Yeah.
But
oh man, yeah. See, only one of them is purchasable.
Yeah, you can check license available, and these are the different songs. So, say I were to click onto this, it tells me I can use the whole song if I want to for any duration. Supported regions. It works in all regions. The license does not expire.
I don't get that. I understand people need music if they're not producers. Trust me, not everybody can make music, but just go on YouTube and search royalty free. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, why would you rather pay for that? I mean, it's kind of weird because you're only going to make. Okay, I see two things. You're going to buy 5 songs from here, and those are going to be the songs of your channel. You're going to reuse them constantly. That could be pretty bad, depending on what you do and which songs you choose. It could get a little repetitive. But that's why people just go on YouTube and search for royalty free, and there's like thousands of results. It just makes no sense to buy them.
Yeah, go to the royalty free, or like I do. I'm getting away from that because I want to be somewhat original. And with no talent, I'm using some Suno now, and it's amazing how some of that stuff comes out. Yeah, comes out great, and it's like I love playing around with that. And now I can sit back and say it's quote unquote my music, and that's why I love it when Mike gets a copyright claim on something I did for him to use on his channel. And it's
you got a copyright claim for a Suno beat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's weird.
It's probably out of India or North Korea. Or
it was out of Russia. This last one.
Oh, Russia. It was Russia. Okay.
The
Babushka bangers did that. Okay.
The thing is with YouTube though, it might not even be Suno. I've had that happen with even some of my own beats. Very rare though.
It's other companies claiming to be with another music organization.
Right.
That's making the claim on their behalf, quote unquote.
Well, the most ridiculous one is the music we use for Penguin Dome, right? I took that straight from the music that was available to use on YouTube from YouTube itself. They have a little thing, we could use that music. So I put it in there, and what happens? Mike gets a copyright claim on it.
I got a copyright claim, of course, for Saints Row. How dare you play that copyright music? It's in the game, you fucking.
You shouldn't get any for the music I played though, Mike. That is scary. I hate that that's even happening with like original music too.
Or even when we play that Animal House clip,
Yes, I got one on mine.
Did the Germans bomb Pearl Harbor?
What does this mean? Are we running out of melodies?
If we played for any length of time, it seems, we get a copyright claim on it.
It's just so
yeah. See, I try to stop it. I try to stop it before it gets to over 10 seconds.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's it too, because it's a.
But even that, even when you follow the rules, you can play at least maximum 8 seconds is what you're supposed to play of any clip or any piece of music.
Right.
But I even had some clips where it went 15 seconds or even 20 seconds and was fine. But it seems like with that Animal House one, bam, some company in Russia every time.
What's weird too, because like with Jace and other channels like that, you just say, okay, we don't own this stuff, blah blah blah, and then you just play it.
That's not going to protect you. That is not.
I guess that doesn't protect you either. But I mean, it's
so. What was the last one you got striked for?
Well, it was for the Animal House clip. I'm not going to play because I don't want to have to
obviously
remove.
Not, but like
out of sequence.
So even if you follow the rules, they still do that to you.
Yeah. Even if you follow the rules, I mean, I'm going to show everybody who's watching right now what I put in. If I think that we're gonna show any, clips. So let me just share my screen once again.
That's just so weird. I mean, I think they should.
And I know this doesn't protect me. I know this doesn't protect my ass. But I still put this in here anyway.
Yeah.
Right down here. Copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in the favor of fair use. I do not own the content used in this video, and I put that in there myself. All credits go to their rightful owners. I am saying straight up front, I don't own this. This belongs to somebody else. I am just using it as a piece to emphasize what we're talking about, criticize what we're talking about. I'll even show you guys this. When we're talking about articles, all articles discussed in this video belong to the original publisher and are used to offer opinion and criticism.
I bet that was really fun to write.
I decided to put that one in there myself to cover thy ass.
They can find me and copyright this. Like even when we simulcast stuff, like you said, the clip of Animal House, sometimes other things, it's just really stupid. It's then it's like you should be able. I don't know. Like maybe you're always getting a copyright claim on that and stuff, even when you're not doing the 10 seconds. Like I even covered my ass with that Star Wars video because I don't know what they would do.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, I played Dark Forces last Saturday. And what did I get copyright on? The Star Wars theme. And it's MDI. It's not like I'm taking the actual theme and playing it. It's a theme that was already in the game. It's been in the game since 1995.
It's happened to Crit too when he was using the music. It's like, dude, this is a fan project. Like I understand it doesn't belong to them. I get it doesn't belong to Crit, whatever, but it's a fucking fan project. He's not making money off of this, or he's not trying to. It's ridiculous.
Padawan, I like what you were saying. I just didn't want to make sure I ignored it. The Lego music, I will try, but I feel like if I try to make Lego music, it'll end up sounding like the Nintendo Wii Shop music. So I'll give it a try. And also the Ice Baby Conundrum is definitely The not our beat goes da 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 da, not da 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 da.
It's crazy low spec. This stuff is well, I get it. We don't own it. I mean, I'm sure you're just being sarcastic, dude. It's just this stuff is just nonsense. It's like if you guys put in clear rules, fine, but you don't even follow your own rules. So how can you expect content creators not to be annoyed by this?
Well, it's also very selective.
Very.
If you have people out there playing games or even fan films, they're using the music from Star Wars. They even credit John Williams and such. Nothing happens to them.
Exactly.
That's true.
Now you have well, I'm going to mention the on their page. Forgive me for doing that, but Eckhart's Ladder in this whole thing, he was doing videos. He got permission in paper, registered that he could use this type of this guy's music on the thing. He knows the guy. He's got the permission, but with everything on that, even with the guy who did the music saying, hey, it's cool, they still struck him. And yeah, it was a full strike.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's happened to other creators who've paid for the license to use the music in every single video they do or every single live stream.
Thankfully,
and the company will still strike them. Or even worse, the company that you buy the license from gets bought out by another company, and that new company says, no, you can't use the music. That license is no longer valid.
Thankfully, I haven't had that issue with any of these songs I've been showing. Thank God, because that does happen. It's happened once with me where one of my original tracks were flagged, but I disputed it and I showed them my project file and it was instantly resolved. But they can happen, dude, and it's annoying when it does. And it's not fair that you should be punished. And I get that, you know, they look at it as a money thing. Like, we don't want them robbing us of our hard-earned music. But to be honest, there's just a different way it could be funneled. It's not about why should you be cut off instantly. Like, why should you not make any money at all from your YouTube video from simply just including a song? That's ridiculous. There should just be a way of it being shared nicer or evenly. I'm not really sure how to do it. I'm not a businessman by any means, but I definitely think the whole problem here is because they want to have what's theirs and we want to have what's ours. So that just needs to be resolved a little bit better and funneled a little bit easy, like smoother. Just that's all.
I mean,
I would also like to.
Since we're on this topic, you used Dennis McCarthy's early version of the Next Generation theme. Did you face any repercussions for that from Paramount?
Actually, let me check.
anybody?
That's a good question. I never really checked. I don't think I did.
And do you guys think, obviously, if somebody asked a question to somebody like John Williams, hey, you know, this guy, you know, he's not making money off of it. He's just using your music, you know, advertising, making sure other people know. Would he be upset? Because I've never heard him come out. Maybe he would be, but I doubt it. It's just...
You feel honored because they love your music that much.
Exactly. That's how you should feel honored.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, the thing is what would help do this fast. And again, it's called doing a little bit of work on YouTube's part.
Yes.
But they know it's problematic to the people that use their platform and getting hurt to make note that if any flags come from India or Russia or how does North Korea does it because they're a closed system? Well, there's one guy who's got internet access that they look into a little bit more because these are where scammers are from. Just ask Pierogi. This is where they all are basically originating from. So if you're not going to do that work on your part, especially when you know it's a problem. And that's the thing. If more of these services that we use actually take the time and do what they're supposed to do, a lot of the scamming stuff would not be happening as much.
Well, how many times per day do you get a robocall?
Well, our robo-text.
I have it pulled up, by the way. Seems like I was not affected.
See, and that's the thing. You never know when it's going to affect you, when it's not going to affect you.
Yeah. It's very inconsistent.
It's like a shadow attack. No consistency. No logic.
Yeah. I used the Top Gun theme a couple of years ago reviewing Top Gun Maverick. I didn't use the whole thing, but I thought I had enough of it in there where I was sure to get a copyright claim, but I haven't. And then I was thinking, well, maybe I transformed it enough to where it avoided it. But see, that's another thing too. You have to play around when you're doing your video editing or even during a live stream to see how much you can actually get in there without, YouTube or some other company going zap. No, you can't use that.
Well, I think also you got that conundrum with Star Wars, because pre-Disney, Lucas was very warm in accepting people using his sound effects and music for fan films. He encouraged it because he knew, this is where we're going to get our new batch of filmmakers from. Well, let's not hamper them for doing it. And they have a love of my project. And in fact, we'll even have, they can submit it and win awards at our various official conventions. Now you got Disney in there. And what does Disney only think of? Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So that's a difference in two worlds. It's nurturing what you could probably have for future people working for you to, basically siphoning it. And then you start wondering, where's this next generation? Where's this next generation? Yeah, well, you screwed them over. Good job.
Yeah.
And real quick, I do want to say hello to Cool Frog over on the Rumble side. Good to see you, Cool Frog. Hope you're doing
Rumble, Rumble. I'm on Rumble.
Yes,
Ooh.
you are on Rumble.
Let's do it right. Ribbit, Rumble,
Never
Ribbit,
been on
Rumble,
Rumble
Ribbit,
before.
Rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, supposedly YouTube has a problem with people saying that, so we just started saying rumble, rumble, rumble.
Rumble, 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 rumble. Or even,
Wait, saying what I just said? Oops, sorry.
It doesn't.
No, we don't care.
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
You know that.
People
I didn't know
even
that
are
they were
used.
that much of an asshole. All right.
Oh well, they
Damn.
can. That's why you
Oh,
tell
we
them
are.
to go fuck themselves. Yeah. Well.
Not you.
I mean, that's
God
why
damn
we
it,
even
Baron.
have stuff like that. They don't like that. Yeah. It's like,
All right, I have another
Well,
beat I
I
want to show you
but-
guys. This one's
But
called
we are
Presence.
assholes. We even have the clip for it, so you know.
mhm.
This one's the presence of you guys.
It was on that night. Bear, Norman Tag, and Cash Money 007 decided they would try to take over Pop Talk. But Mike was aware of their devious plans and basically said to them this.
Extinction to all traitors!
No, honestly, that one even has a hint of that English, 70s, 60s, 70s type.
I'm happy.
It's
Let me
like-
know if I'm
it's
getting a
like-
little bit of annoying with these beats, because I might show a bit too many.
No.
I apologize in advance.
No, I love it. I
Don't
love
worry about it.
You know,
Stuff.
I
This
think
is
I like
all
it.
about you.
This is all about
I
you,
love it.
man.
I'm loving it, man.
Come on, man.
This is what you like to do on your
I'm
channel.
happy you guys are seeing it though. Like you nailed it with the 70s. Like yeah, that's
Yeah.
very
I mean,
very
that's what
hard
we
to
call-
do.
That should be called the Pop Talk Files.
Look, dude, you can put this music into that modded stuff that guy is doing for Stalker, man. Come on, man.
I mean, I've actually, you know, that I was gonna say earlier, I forgot, but with Suno, I tried out a bit of their vocal thing. So I was curious to see. Yeah, I was showing Cash too. Suno is pretty cool. It can make some really nice beats. I wanted to try to see what it could do with, you know, a Russian upbeaty, you know, a techno beat, like something really 90s, and use it for my buddy's Stalker Anomaly video he's working on, and it's really good with that stuff. I definitely recommend Suno. I was gonna say earlier as like a good path for you wanting to break away from copyright, but if it's getting you guys copyrighted, then I'm not too sure. I can't really speak too heavily on it. I usually just make my own.
Yeah, I've used Suno.ai. I even published my own Transformers tribute theme. And
I saw that. That was awesome.
I haven't gotten anything. Knock on wood. I hope I don't.
Good. You shouldn't, because it's original. I mean, whether or not the sources are coming from real songs or not, there is no such thing as a fake song. They have to use something.
Right.
But I mean, they could just use more beer commercial songs because they don't have to really use real ones. But I mean, that's what they're probably trained on. And honestly, if that's the case, whatever, it's still making something new, I hope. And so far, it seems like it is.
I mean, we got two in our music background music, basically about us being always a downer about everything, making fun of the people that call us that, and of course the drama of Pacific 414. I mean, and it's like I'm sometimes surprised how well they do that. I mean, I did my thing about tribute to Captain Kirk that I put on my channel, and yes, I'm promoting myself. And it's amazing. It's got a lot of responses. It's also the only one of the music that I put on there that got downvotes from the Shatner.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's the only one.
Yeah,
because
that community is so divisive, man. Oh my God.
Because they just can't stand Kirk for whatever reason.
No, because they just want to disagree. Yep. That's all they want to do.
Right. I mean, one guy even put that in the comments. It's like, nah,
all they want to do is get a high off disagreeing.
Yeah, he's like, I'm downvoting this. It's like, but it upsets him so much that how dare somebody do a tribute?
It probably didn't even upset him that much. He just
maybe not. But maybe they just want to down. Yeah, and they might just be the people who like the newer Trek, and that's like
that's why I'm not a true Trek fan. I like Star Trek. I love it. I name myself Spock, but I am, I hope I'm not a real Trekkie, because some of them are very angry. And it's okay. I get it. But
Spock, sometimes the reason they're angry is because, well, they're this.
He said, today is a good day to die.
I love Cisco's face. He's like, "Oh shit!"
I know.
But yeah, I mean,
I call myself a new Trekkie. That's why I don't like the new stuff.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine.
I call myself a Trekkie.
A traditional Trekkie. Some of them I've talked to are very passionate,
of course.
That they just want to debate about something. And you're not like that, Baron. So you're the good side of it. But there's people I've talked to who really want nothing. Even if we agree on the same things, they want to have something to argue about. Like, oh, you didn't like the pylons on the original Constitution class? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, come on. As long as I like Star Trek, that's all that matters. As long as I get it. I think as long as I get what it's about.
You didn't like Barclay? Barkley? No, I'm just kidding. But
Broccoli. Lieutenant Broccoli. No, I'm doing it.
But like that's why it's funny to make fun of these names too. Like, and people get mad about that too. It's great. It's like, or you mispronounce a name. I get it. I understand. I had somebody. I think it was in Paul's VC. Like, it's nothing personal. I understand, but the guy's like, no, that's not what the name is. And it's like, I think this character, no, like he was all like mad, like you heard him started screaming in VC. And I just couldn't stop laughing. Like, it was so funny, but people are just passionate about other things. And I agree. There's other people like, who cares how the name is supposed to be sound? Other people are like, I want to make sure the name sounds the way it's supposed to sound. The
Yeah, I don't
developer
get
says
that.
it
I
this
just
way.
as long as you
Yeah.
get what Star Trek's about, that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
Right.
It's all that
It
matters.
is.
Yeah, I
man,
mean,
it is.
and when it's a correcting with me,
It's about
it's just
family,
to
it's
help.
about camaraderie, it's about teamwork, it's about
Yeah, I mean, when we correct
doing
each
something
other,
positive.
like we're joking around and stuff, like when Barrett is, and some people might, man, he must be serious. Like, no, we'll just tell him to shut up later on. But
Yeah.
Man,
but
I'm sorry,
No, I
Barry,
mean,
that's
like,
annoying.
It's serious in the fact of helping get the name, but it's like, but we
Yeah.
still bust each other's chops. I mean,
we do.
Yeah, that's like I was saying, troll to troll, but like it's
Mhm.
that still sucks that it happens. I'm sorry. People,
Yeah.
you can't
Well-
always expect positive criticism, but like some criticism just doesn't make sense. Like I made that Tron thing with the Korra, and it was like, you know, a little bit lewd, but it was just supposed to be like a sexy Korra Bruce Tim thing, and someone just had the comment, "Why did you just add motion to the tits?" It's like, why were you just paying attention to that, man? There's a lot more in that video.
Well, you showed me some of the art that you done the other night, and that's very close to what Tim's work is.
Bruce
It
Tim.
is.
I mean, to be fair, it's illegitimate art.
AI.
I
It's like
do,
AI
I
kinda
do
stuff,
actually draw his style as well. I have one that I actually have attempted it, and I showed Cash it, and it looks good.
That's
It's my
cool.
best one. But all the others are AI, and it's illegitimate. But even so, still damn cool. I mean, I'm sure if Bruce had this technology when he was making the animated series, not to use it, but it would have definitely given him a lot of inspiration to make other characters, more things like the costume designs it comes up with, all the stuff. It's stuff I couldn't even think of. It's really mind blowing.
Just send him that one he did of all the naked women, dude. It'll be fine. Just spread that all over.
A lot of hate on. This one is a character I made called Alex Turbo. She, I started drawing her in like I think 3 months ago in art class when I started the class for the first time, and I just started drawing it on the iPad, and this is what it ended up becoming.
Ooh, hello. You know, you need more jiggle on those boobs, so.
Fucking bear.
Yeah.
So I took it into an AI after I drew it to enhance some things, like because I'm not too good with. Oh yeah, that's another one. This is fully AI. This one. This one though, I took into the AI to redraw the hands because I don't like how the hands look. I still don't really like how they look, so I was actually going to redraw them this week. But with the AI thing, you have this tool called inpainting, and you're able to select certain areas that you think don't look too great and have it fix it for you. But 90% of this was drawn by me on the iPad in class, just trying to like get the proportions right, just trying to understand human anatomy because I don't get how to draw people. I don't get how to draw figures. I feel like I used to draw them very awkwardly, but this is a good example. I like honing in on Bruce Timm's style because he made it a very easy canvas for me to start making my own character.
I know how to do boobs and butts because usually those are the things I'm looking at the most. So.
Hey man, I mean you can't say girls aren't worse. There's the Twilight Saga. Twilight Saga exists for a reason.
Good point.
Hey, like I said, men like looking at pretty women, and women like looking at handsome men. And
yeah, what's wrong with that?
No if and no if ands are buts. So,
as long as she's not underage or anything else weird going on, then it's no big deal.
Yeah, there we go. That's
hell, I'm even like I'm 23 and I don't really talk to girls younger than me or my own age.
Wow. You're a male cougar hunter. I see.
Not that old, but like usually it's been like my last 2 girlfriends have been like 2 years older than me.
Cougar hunter.
But this is a Suno beat.
He goes up to him. He goes, "Hello, nurse," and they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Since we were talking about Suno, I thought I'd bring out one of the beats I really liked. I don't know if I could do it better. There's obviously guitar in this, and I'm not too great at guitar. Obviously it's a wizard at it because it's an AI. But this is something I tried to make that sounded a lot different from what everyone else is doing on there, which is mainly like pop music. I don't know if you've been on their Discord, but their Discord has got a good group of people on there. Some questionable than others. but
Shock.
we've talked about that, Cash.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
they
you talk to
they
them, but
have
you didn't talk to us. What's wrong with us? Are we chopped liver?
They post a lot of pop music. That's one thing, and it's all the same, like the upbeat radio stuff. So I did this. I
You know the
liked what
reason there's questionable people in there though, Spock, is because of people like Phil McCracken. That's why.
Probably.
I'm
But
sure of it.
I like what you and Mike did, Baron, with Suno. I think that that's what it should be used for, is more creativity, especially towards science fiction. It's always fun to play around with science fiction in Suno, see what it can make. I tried making like an orchestra Star Trek thing in it, but it didn't come out too well. So I think I'm just gonna make it myself.
No.
But this is a beat called Over My Dead Body. I don't really know why I named it that. I was just having a bad day.
Okay, whatever you say.
Oh shit, sorry. What were you saying?
I said, whatever you say over your dead body, we'll arrange that. Cash lives nearby. You got your mission, Cash.
Well, Cash can bring it on. I have my own chin to defend me.
He's got his own chin. That's right.
Yeah, I have a chin war.
Chin war.
The schnoz war.
Chin dome. Two chins.
Chin versus
one
schnoz.
chin leaves. Oh.
Do you want to? Like, I don't know if you want to, but do you want to show that music video that you were in with your friend, or?
I was going to. I just if it's okay, because like there is some obviously questionable profanity in there.
There is some questionable stuff. That guy.
But
dude.
obviously everything I did was cool. My buddy did a good job too. I liked what he did. It's just that the language isn't really accepted everywhere. But if you want to, I can show you a music video.
That's true.
I was, more thinking about, copyright and everything.
Yeah, that too, because it's not.
That's fair. Yeah,
it is on your friend's channel, so I think.
Yeah, I don't want to risk any copyrights either.
No.
So these are beats I'm showing that haven't been really posted anywhere.
But
if you guys want, I can talk about it.
But yeah.
I released a music video yesterday with my buddy. We've been working on it for 3 months, and we were just filming at different places. We were dressed as the Men in Black. That was the idea, because we wanted to eventually incorporate alien CGI into our music video. It didn't get to that, unfortunately, but we decided to just do like something mixed with Men in Black and Reservoir Dogs. So we had a group of people, we were all walking, and we were just reciting the lyrics, and we're doing our hand gestures, and it was kind of like a montage where we have a group of people walking with us. We're going to different locations. And there is a meaning behind the song. It's very hard to misconstrue or to extract from the video, but it's all about all these young rappers nowadays, a lot of them unfortunately getting into drug habits or bad gunfights, all these kind of things that are going on, and people who just want to rap, make music. It's not about that. It's not about showing off what you can flex or how cool you are. I mean, I'm not a moral arbiter, like I said. I don't know rap that well, but I can tell you it's sad to see on the news, kids who are like younger than me dying to fentanyl overdose or getting shot in the street because they had a an argument with somebody over drugs, like weed or something. And it's like, it's ridiculous. This is all about being a gangster. And this whole song I made with John is called Time Arrives. And it's the time has arrived to be real with yourself. Time has arrived for real music to come back. And the time has arrived for us to just tell stories. Like, that's what rap, I at least knew what rap was growing up as a kid. Rap wasn't about, how many women you have or gold chains you have. It's usually about a story in there and the upbringing of that rapper or something else. There's always something else.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something if you guys want to check it out.
I agree with you. Yeah.
It's out on his channel right now. You can search it up, called Time Arrives. But yeah, it's really good. It took a long time to finally finish. But yeah, this is a Suno beat as well. I tried to make like an Afro beat type thing. It didn't sound too African American, the drum pattern, because if you guys don't know what Afro beat is, it's like this tribal kind of genre, and the beat pattern for it is really cool. It's like and I tried to get that with Suno, and it did an interesting job. Here you go.
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty smooth.
That is something you would have heard on 1970s radio.
Yeah. It's got I don't know if any of you guys know the artist Skin Shape, but he's a recent artist, started in like 2016, started making music like this, and it's very rare you find somebody who tries to be vintage, not intentionally, but that's just the instruments they prefer. That's the sound that they like, and he makes music like this, and oh man, I definitely recommend it. Skin Shape all the way.
Okay.
That
Gets me through a lot of tough times.
I mean,
Now,
that's
Spock.
a time travel. That's a time travel song. There.
Now,
Thank you,
Spock,
man.
before
Yeah.
we start wrapping up here, I do have one question to ask you, and it's a question
up?
I said we would ask you in the beginning of the show is where do you see your YouTube channel 6 months to a year from now?
So maybe 6 months from now, I hope to definitely have the episodic series episode 2 already out. A year from now after that, I hope to have 1,000 subs, but I really don't care about numbers. I've put in so much time into the channel that I hope that there is some kind of traction going on for it, because I feel I've been stuck at the 500, 600 range for quite a bit, and that's my own fault because I haven't really been making a lot of videos. So hopefully from a year from now, I decide to change that and upload a lot more. But I definitely see the channel having more AI videos, more music videos, and obviously a lot more streams. I want to change the what's it called, the organization of it a little bit, because right now as it stands, I think my thumbnails are very messy. I think a lot of them are very nice, but they are just sporadic, and I wish that there was a nicer way to funnel what people want to watch me do. Do you want to see me play my games on live streams, or do you want to see the series I'm working on, or do you want to see the music I'm doing? So that's definitely something I want to try and improve on in a year. Is you'll see definitely an easier to navigate channel, and you'll see more content from me in terms of music, for sure. A lot more music.
Now, a follow-up question to that would also be, do you see yourself doing more on Twitch? Do you see yourself expanding to maybe Rumble or streaming some of your content, not just on your YouTube channel, but also on X?
I've thought about Rumble. I haven't thought about X or Twitch for two reasons. X is an interesting outlet of people on there. I feel it's very hard to engage with people on a similar mindset, because a lot of the time X is a nice place to not just promote like with what you guys do and chat with your fans, but it's also a big outlet for people to argue. And I think that it's not, I mean, so is YouTube, of course, but YouTube has stamped that idea of more of a content creator platform rather than this is a platform where you can come to express your disinterest in politics and current media and all that stuff. While people do that on YouTube, it's not as popular as like music videos or gaming videos, all that stuff. That's why I mainly stick on YouTube. But X is something I wasn't considering for a bit. I might in the future. I've seen that they have that nice, neat live stream, and I have an X account already when it was Twitter at the time. But yeah, I think if anything, Rumble might be the only one I'm considering because I like their strictness isn't that high in terms of music in your videos, in terms of what you can do in your videos. I know that they are changing that a little bit. You were telling me about that a couple weeks ago, but there is more of a reason for me to continue on YouTube than anything else. I mean, unless there is another platform that magically appears that's just as good, if not better, and breaks away from, I'm personally not a fan of these Logan Paul type YouTubers who just, you know what I mean? I don't really know how to word it, but it's just a vlog about themselves every day, all day, and they actually have a bunch of people watching it. I'm not a fan. I know people, are allowed to express their daily life and show what they're doing, but I want a more gaming centered hub. Like that's what Twitch used to be, and it's not anymore. Twitch is chatterbait now, let's be honest. And we don't have a true gaming platform where we just can go like, oh, you guys want to see the newest streamer playing the Call of Duty right now? Oh, go hop on over the Spock tube right now. Like there's nothing like that. There's like everywhere.
Yeah, because
it's just
even Kick, which was supposed to be an alternative to Twitch, is a lot like Twitch.
Yeah. There's no reliable resource you can go to be like, this is where the official gameplay is going to be. This is where the official streamer is going to be testing it. This is where I can catch up with all of the gaming news. No, it's all mixed. You have to go on YouTube. You have to go on Rumble. You have to go on all these different cross media. It would be solved if it was all just on one.
It would, but then the rules would have to be clear and stuff. So Rumble's a nice alternative. Yeah, Rumble's can be nice alternative, but they even have some problems that they need to fix. Their interface is pretty good, but if they start becoming more less politically, I would say more about less freedom of speech. We'll go with that. Then it's going to become another problem. But they've already shown that they're not going to put up with some of these countries and their nonsense. So there's something there, and it's upsetting YouTube. So that's always a plus because YouTube can be so stupid.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, here, of course, I'm glad that Spock, basically, exposed Cash for being the Twitter warrior that he is. But I mean, but we have Mike here, like you're giving Spock like he's doing a job interview here. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your aspirations and goals? And most important,
what would you say you do here?
Play that one. I was finding the excuse to play that one.
I mean, it's a fair question. To be fair, honestly, I haven't been asked that, so this is a first for me. Honestly, I think I should be asked that more often.
Yeah,
that's the thing too. When I do this, in addition to Pop Talk with a special guest, I am more serious.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good because this is serious for me too. As much as I do my jolly routine on my channel, I'm very passionate about what I do. I love Star Trek very much, and more than anything else, and it's very deep in my core to make sure that not people just understand Star Trek, but when you come to my channel, you get the same vibe like you're watching a TNG episode. Like there's value here, there's jokes, there's camaraderie, and there's good teamwork, and there's a good positive outcome sometimes.
Right. I mean, just like this. Obviously, we still goof off a little bit here with you because you're kind of a laid back Vulcan.
I was gonna say you can never predict the Vermintide match, so it can't always be a good ending.
Don't. It's still a sore point with me and Mike, especially with the fact that Cash didn't believe a thing. They raised the difficulty level with an update. No, man, they would have said so in the notes.
That's what I wanted to believe because
Man,
it's just.
yeah,
Then I had
good
to do
grief.
some more research even into it. I was like, oh,
They don't do
well,
that all the time, my
it
friend.
just it's
Unfortunately,
just
even Suno doesn't
it's
always say
just
what updates they roll.
it's just
Yep.
annoying because it's like, okay, look, we should be doing everything right, and the game is still telling us to go fuck ourselves. So I don't know what.
It's Warhammer, bro. What do you expect?
I know, but it's just
Like
still, it's
Tuvok
like
said in that GIF, man. What the fuck did you
it's
expect,
just the
man? Like
same,
it's
but it still has the same horde formula as Left for Dead, and so it's like,
yeah.
uh,
I think in
it just
some ways it's better.
it's
I like
fine.
Left 4 Dead though for the sake
Yeah,
that it's
yeah,
moddable,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there is some things
Mhm.
Warhammer has that's just
Yeah, I
like the
agree.
gore, the
Mhm.
everything, the melee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
you know,
figure it out. It's just we're almost there. I mean, we're making progress with Dark Tide, so we'll make progress with Vermintide too.
oh yeah. And
Mhm.
you know what? I have to confess, I kind of did something I never ever do, but I paid like a couple dollars, just a couple dollars, because it filled out the whatever it is that you can get the special stuff you have to pay for DLC. I got the Krieg warrior. I had to get the Krieg
Oh,
guy,
alright.
this guy. And I tell you, one of the great things is just like they have in Warhammer 40K, he's got his trusty shovel, and boy, does it cause heads to fly. I love it. Don't be
That's
wrong, I
my.
like my zealot, but
Before we go here, are there any final words you like to say? Anything that you have on the pipeline that's about to be released that you'd like to promote, or anyone that you'd like to promote?
I want to promote everyone on here, of course. I want to thank you guys again for having me. This was a lot of fun. I definitely, I not just for the sake of showing off myself again. I want to definitely join you guys on Pop Talk again and just talk because this was a good time. But I definitely want to promote people on my Discord, Calamity Ganon. You need to get a YouTube channel, bro. Like pronto.
Well, especially for
Vigi.
his Zelda stuff, man. Jeez. Like
Yeah.
the hours of content he could put on just for
He's
Zelda.
good. He's good, and I understand. Like maybe he might not have the computer to do it right now. We've talked
Right, he
about that,
doesn't.
but
No, he doesn't,
even if he can do it, he should try. He's really like when I
Mhm.
watch Nintendo stuff,
Well, it's just
I hit him up.
it's his passion, man, for like
Yeah.
Zelda and stuff, and how much he
He
loves
knows
it.
everything.
Right
He
there.
knows everything.
He
Like
puts
you
like
ask him
hours
how to
in.
do it, he'll show you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And not
He's
even just
put
that.
in
Like you
so
ask
much
him how to
time.
do it, he won't show you even like the proper way. Sometimes he'll show you the exploited shortcut way. That's awesome. So he just knows all these little
I
things.
love that. I love that Zelda game, especially when you're watching Zelda going through there, fighting all these bad guys and such, and trying to look for this princess person. I mean, wow, Zelda is quite quite a character
Baron,
and quite a
I
fighter.
swear, dude.
Baron,
No.
the main hero of the series is called Link. That's who you're playing as.
Lancelot Link, the chimpanzee.
Oh God.
Well,
I
look,
want to also shout out Mr. Capital G too, who helped me with that music video.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Very nice.
Started kind of doing the Academy Awards. I'd like to thank my hairdresser, my fellow people.
That's what I feel like right now.
Yeah.
I'm holding my trophy. I'm like, thank you for giving me the Pop Talk Award of the Year. I want to thank Mr. Cash Money for being the man he is always, the Twitter warrior. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for taking time out of your Sunday to join us and talk about your channel, talk about Star Trek, talk about music, and just have a great time, which we did.
Yeah.
I want to say something else. The group on Discord is very supportive. Everybody on there, you guys included, wouldn't have been able to even have the kind of confidence without you guys. So thank you. Not even saying
You're
that.
welcome. Thank you.
No problem, bro.
But I think it's also important to say that my mood has been the last month. So what I want to end off with is watch Pauly Shore, watch watch some John Carpenter, watch a lot of it.
Yes.
Get into Transformers.
Yes. G1,
listen
man,
to
all the way.
Yeah, watch G1. Just that's been my mood recently, and
My coronation!
Coronation, Starscream? This is bad comedy.
Megatron? Is that you?
Here's a hint. Will anyone else attempt to fill his shoes?
What did you do to Cash, man? Wow.
You're the Bear's the one who's Starscream. I'm the one who was Megatron. Now I'm Mike Galvatron. I've been reformatted, and Spock's Cyclonus.
Cyclonus. Wait. So Spock's taking over the channel. What's going on? What? Oh no! Spock took over the channel. No.
I am now changing my name from Cyclonus to Spockonus. But
and I myself welcome our Spock invaders.
Just watch good 90s comedy. That's something I have to stress.
Yep.
90s comedy. Watch good 80s science fiction. Watch the Spaceballs movie 1,000 damn times until it's ingrained in your head. Just do it.
And let's
You
not
won't
forget
regret it.
Pauly Shore's greatest line ever spoken on the screen. You didn't make the whoosh, Bundy.
Whoosh. or as we like to say here on Pop Talk, after discussing an article that brings it to mind, there it is.
The hell you say?
Oh, what happened?
The hell you said of this scene.
The hell you say?
I don't know what happened there.
But before we wrap it up here, Baron, go ahead and promote what's happening on Baron Norman Tags Fandom Legacy.
My constant plot to overthrow Megatron and take over this channel for one.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly?
No, not Optimus Prime. It still hurts. As well, I think we'll be having our final episode on Saturday.
Nice.
I think it's going to be the 21st episode. Can you believe we did it? Gone 21 times talking about Babylon 5, Season 5. 3 episodes left we'll discuss, including, of course, Sleeping in Light, are also known as Farewell, the last episode of the
Listen
series.
to this guy. This is every time, man. Snarky about stuff, Anonymous. He's out of control lately.
It was the dawn of the third age of mankind.
Yep.
Yes.
10 years after the Earth Minbari War. Yeah. Well, you know what? If I'm going to do that, and I'm going to talk about, let's do it proper, man. Let's do it proper. There we go. But yeah, we'll be finishing up Babylon 5, a discussion, 7:00 Central Time on my channel. Yeah, he's a happy Centauri. So yeah, join us 7:00 Central Time on Fandom Legacy. Besides what these two jokers will be saying about theirs, more than likely I'll be with them. But I want to point out that I will be, as well as Cash, on Jace Fox's 540 Studio, the Beyond series that he has, Thursdays, anywhere between 6 and 6:30 Central Time on 540. Yeah, we never know. 540 Studio. Yeah. And so that'd be, of course, Jace himself and Prismatic, Cash, me, and who knows who else will stumble in and
maybe Kilted, Hashi, and of course Whoopa. Yeah, Whoopa will usually be there.
Whoopa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So, yeah, thank you for the help there. Yeah, because you never know. Will be a full house, or it's just going to be Jace and Cash. Who knows? But please join us for that.
And Baron.
Other than that, and Baron, if I feel like it, depends how Jace treats me. Other than that, that is me, and I'm going to pass the torch on to whoever Mike wants to pass the torch to.
Well, the next person I'm passing the torch to is Cash.
Woohoo! All right, so next week we're either going to play I don't know what your daughter wants to do yet, Baron. I just take it week by week. I don't know. But if she
He's blonde.
Okay, well, fine. So if she wants to play, fine. If not, well, we'll play some more Aliens.
Yes, let's do that. That's a lot of fun. I was just getting Ash into Aliens. He recently had to install Linux, so he's just like only playing what Steam allows him to play, and Aliens was one of them.
Okay. But yeah, we'll be doing that, of course. So always a multiplayer game unless something changes, but it's always at every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And nice, Anonymous. Oh, and Anonymous can join us. So what we do, let's see, if Ash decided to join us, we decide to play next week, and Anonymous, we'll switch out people. That's fine. Okay.
Since you guys are all Babylon 5 characters, might as well join you.
Nice.
Oh, baby.
Sinclair.
He's the one.
He's the one, yes. So yeah, that'll be coming up.
He's the one. You are not the one.
It's Zathras, not Zathras. Zathras. But yeah, so that's what's coming up, and then I'm still working on my another Crab's Treasure video. It's just like I said, whenever this stuff is not ready yet, I'm not going to put it out there, just like how I feel like Spock does. And when it's ready, then it'll be ready. But I'll be doing some more stuff. I know it's scary to think about this, but Phil McCracken and I will be playing some more stuff, either Myth Force or Fallout 76. So that will be coming up as well. And,
what?
Yeah, I know.
And
you can join too if you want to. I know.
Fallout? No, thank you.
Fallout
Who do you think I am?
76.
Who do you think I am, man?
I know who you are.
It's the spirit of 76.
Zathras.
Not Zathras. Not Zathras. Zathras. And of course, you know.
But yeah, that's coming up on the Phantom Hooligans, and then so it's always going to be rowdy. But yeah, definitely some more stuff. I'm hoping the another Crab's Treasure video has been taking a while because I just want it to be a certain way. So once it's the way I like, then it'll be good.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen with all his projects. 3 years
3 years later, man.
I'm not happy with this. I'm still working on it.
But no, really, but all jokes aside, and then Baron and I, after this Babylon is done completely, because I want that to be finished first, then we're going to have a surprise show that's going to be starting hopefully soon. So, yeah.
And don't be surprised if you're invited, Spock, for being
that's right.
Yes. Mike, not so much, but you, Spock, you're cool.
Oh no!
Oh no! Anonymous playing Aliens. Gotta join you, buddy.
No, Anonymous. If you wanna, dude, I don't mind switching out people. It's okay, dude. I know it's only 3 people. It's all right, Anonymous. You're always welcome.
We can rotate out. We can rotate out.
It's not a big deal.
We've done it before. Yeah, we've done it.
It's not a
Blame
problem.
the devs.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, blame the devs, dude. Exactly.
Yeah, it used to be 4. Why don't? Yeah.
Right.
Bring it back to 4 people, man. Come on, man.
5 people.
Come on.
Come on, man.
Cash Pop's a bad dude.
Cash Pop.
We need 8 people in that game to be happy.
That would be awesome.
Oh my word. And of course, you know, Cash will be trying to kill me. I mean,
no, I won't. I can't kill you.
Yeah,
so
Hey,
I won't.
I don't know if I've ever said it on stream, but they did say that they are working on another title. Hopefully, it's a bigger and better version of Fire
So
Team.
then, what they should do, a Fire Team, is have 6 to 8. Oh man, can you imagine 8 people?
Imagine that. Like, you know, Colonial Marines, right? You were telling me about that a couple days ago.
Yes.
Imagine if that was better though. Like, you could have a group of 8 people, and you're stuck on a planet where you have to, like, you know, defend yourself against waves on a moon or something. Like, you're just outside a giant arena, you just have to protect. Like, that'd be cool. But
yeah, it'd be awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah, there needs to be.
There's definitely potential. There's definitely potential. Maybe I will buy the DLC sometime for that.
You know how cool it would be to have Aliens Fire Team be a PvE PvP game? So you jump into, you know, you do the campaign, and once you finish the campaign, you have the online mode, and the online mode is basically Aliens versus Predator, and you can play.
So cool.
You can play as the Marines. The other players can
Yes.
play as the Predators. The other players can play as the aliens, and then whatever slots aren't filled up are filled in by AI. So it's just a mix of PvPvE. Oh, that'd be so fun.
It would be
so
awesome. It would be awesome. Hopefully they're gonna expand it, so we'll see.
I like having fun.
Fun. But yeah, that's all coming up so far on the Fandom Hooligans.
Very nice. Now, as far as what's coming up on Pacific Forum 4 for YouTube and Rumble, tomorrow I will be back at it with Stellar Blade. Just got to figure out how to get some doors open so I can get through the rest of the story. I don't know how much of the game I have left. I do have a feeling I'm getting close to the end. I'm not going to say I'm at the end, but I'm getting close. And then Tuesday, Tuesday, I don't have anything scheduled for Tuesday, but if after tomorrow's Stellar Blade stream, I'm getting closer to the end, meaning I'm right at the end. Oh, you better believe it. I'm going to be streaming Stellar Blade on Tuesday, and I'll think of something else to stream on Thursday. But Wednesday, we will be back with the Wednesday edition of Pacific Forum 4 Pop Talk, started at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube and Rumble channels. And then Thursday, that's up in the air. It just all depends on how far I get in Stellar Blade. I want to get that game finished. Yes, there have been parts of that game that have been frustrating, aggravating, especially with the mechanics.
The hot chick makes up for it.
I was just gonna use my motto. There's one thing that everybody should know when they're watching me play a game. Yeah, I might struggle getting through parts. It might take me a while, but remember this: don't ever give up on me in a game, because trust me, you might miss something. But I want to take the time to thank everybody who was here, especially today's guest, Spock of Spock's Friday Nights. Thank you, Spock, for joining us this afternoon and taking time out of your Sunday to be here and talk about
Thank you again.
Talk about music. You're welcome.
Thank you again, man. This was a fun time.
Well,
That's forgot to ask. What's the Transformers stream? Are we still doing that one day?
That is going to happen right now. This isn't finalized yet, but right now, as far as the day I'm thinking of doing it, I was thinking about doing it on Tuesday, September. I think it was 17th. Let me double check myself.
Okay.
I was thinking about doing it on the 17th because that was the actual day that the series premiered. However, there's the Wednesday Pop Talk the next day, so I might just wait until the 18th and do it on the normal Pop Talk day. But that's how it is at the moment. So I will make an official announcement as to when it's going to occur as it gets closer, because I'm still working on a few things for that stream. I got to put together an intro still, and I'm going through some clips that I want to use, because I want to try to use clips from not just G1 but Beast Wars, the Armada series, and a couple of other series. Yes, the stream will primarily be about G1, but I know you yourself grew up with other iterations of Transformers.
Yes, sir.
And I would love to hear your thoughts on those particular series, having grown up with them. I mean, it could be very similar to my own experience and other people's experience growing up with G1.
Yeah. I think what really solidified it for me, though, because unlike a lot of my Michael Bay discography fans, they are kind of blind to what's really good about those movies, and it's really just the first two. Everything else, I mean, even the second one's questionable. The first one's really the best one.
Yeah, the first one's the best. I don't think 3's bad, but
I didn't like it. I mean, I like that Shia LaBeouf's in it, but we can talk about that off stream too as well, and on the stream. But that is, I think a good thing about it was my dad was really into G1, and he's the reason I got into those movies, was because he took me to see them in the theater. He was like really excited for it, and that's, it did it for both of us. He liked it. I don't know if he liked it as much as G1. I don't think he did, but his reaction kind of gave me the impression that this at least still spoke to some of the values Transformers had.
It does.
Yeah. But it's just different. It's very different.
Yep. I will say, when it came to that 2007 live action film, it was the moment you hear Peter Cullen say, "Before time began, there was the cube." And all I was thinking, and I wasn't the only one, because we're all in the same age group, the words coming out was prime.
Yeah,
it was our prime.
You just knew. And what did you think? Like, I know I love Transformers, sorry, but like, what did you think about like his voice?
Honestly, I could still hear G1 Prime in there. Yes, they had him get a little closer to the mic, lower his voice a little bit to sound like he's this tall robot from another planet. However, it was still Prime. You could still tell when he was saying a lot of the things he was saying as far as his lines, it was Prime. And then when you hear him say, "One shall stand, one shall fall."
It's for me, what does it is when I watch the old ones, it's like he still sounds like Prime, but I'm happy that in the new 2007 they didn't overdo it. They use an actual vocoder. They use like all these cool little things that I use in FL Studio to make it sound even more juicy. If that sounds weird, but like it's just a HD Prime. Yeah, I get you. It was just as soon as you hear it.
I thought those, at least
They
those
ruined it later though.
3 movies, like there was some good dialogue. The whole thing was like in the second one where the Transformer turns into a woman and stuff, and vice versa. I was like, come on, guys, that was ridiculous.
I thought that was weird. I didn't think it was
very
like,
weird.
Yeah, I thought there was just the weird part for me was that entire scene, but also they just had some weird like joviality in that movie that decided to be kind of like, let's make fun about sex. Like, I don't know where that came from.
Did. I mean, the whole thing about like Michael Bay and then his obsession with girls' butts in that, and that was quite obvious. It was just funny to me. It's like, it wasn't I was offended.
There's a subtle way to do it, though.
Yeah,
there's a way to do it that works, and there's a way that it's like, come on, man.
No,
you're doing too much of that. Yeah, I get you. I think that
enough butts.
What was it? Transformers, the first one, sorry, the second one had like this weird attitude with it. Like, I don't like when Optimus, after he takes down the first Decepticon in the very beginning of the movie, he's like, "Punk ass Decepticon." Like, what the hell? I've never heard.
No, that was Iron. That was Ironhide.
Ironhide. Yeah, still pretty weird. I was
that's something. As someone who grew up with G1, that's something I would expect Ironhide to say.
Really? Okay.
All these lousy Decepticon creeps. Yeah, I mean, watch Transformers the movie, or watch any episode of G1 in general. Sure. Oh, come on, look. Let's whip.
I didn't know it was Ironhide. I forgot. Now that it's Ironhide, that actually doesn't annoy me as much anymore. But imagine if it was Optimus who said that. That would have been so misplaced. And I feel like that's what they were doing with the newer movies, like doing stuff he wouldn't have usually done, like getting taken over and fighting Bumblebee. I didn't really like the later movies. They were really bad.
I do think the Bumblebee movie.
That was a good movie.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
That one wasn't bad. I didn't like Transformers 5 though. That was just.
I did not watch that. I watched that 3 and then the Bumblebee movie. I haven't watched any of the Mark Wahlberg stuff.
Bless you, child.
And I also want to thank JPRPH1 for stopping by. Thank you very much. Of course, thank you to everybody who watched on the Phantom Hooligans. Thank you to everyone who watched on Baron Norman Tag's Phantom Legacy. Leia Rose. Everybody's favorite penguin besides Punk Waddle, Low Spec Linux Laptop. DJ Ronnie G. Clifton 3D. Tim's talk. That's right, Tim. Spock was on.
He was on. You always ask about him, so he was here this time.
Mhm.
And our favorite troll, or not favorite troll, McCracken.
Phil McCracken. Also want to thank the Nerporial Life Form. Thank you, brother. The Pad of Wannabe. Thank you very much. I also want to thank Anonymous. And I also want to thank Cool Frog
Just kidding.
over on Rumble. And of course, I want to thank Pat Wannabe and Low Speckle and Acceptop for hopping over on the Rumble side. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you all for stopping by during this edition of Pop Talk. Make sure you subscribe to our guests. His links are in the description below.
I don't know who any of those people are.
Baron!
What? That was Cash.
I know who it was. But
No, Cash.
I thank you all so very much. I know nobody is obligated to watch any one stream on any given day, but I appreciate the fact that you take time out of your day to stop by and listen to what we're talking about or watch the gaming streams on the channel. Without you, we're not doing this. So thank you all once again. And until next time, remember, don't ever give up on me in a game, because just when you do, you might miss something. Have a good Sunday afternoon, everybody.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
3 hours later.
Quite big. Live long and prosper.